I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
Oh man, I got to pull out the old songs again.
God, here we go.
Oh,
it's so fun to be able to pull out the old Jeremy Hale songs.
I know. I've missed it. I'm like, come on, we need that federal stuff to go faster, and then this pops up.
I know it's gonna be like 15 months of hell, but look what happens. All of a sudden, big news on the Turtle Purgatory front, folks.
You know. When we go over this too, I really want to mention something. There have been defenders of these people pop up, and you can look at these folks and tell that their behavior it's not questionable. It is off. It is very off. But apparently, the police ignored it for the longest time because it was just this one guy. And now I guess they can't anymore. So
yeah, apparently John Cook, or Crook as Jeremy likes to call him, is he's starting to start some shit with people he shouldn't.
He took a glam picture. Check this out. Isn't it pretty? Yeah.
Oh my God, Tug, is that a mugshot? Has John Cook been arrested? Oh, wait, what is this? Assault with a deadly weapon?
Yeah, not only that, but pulling a pow-pow on a child. That's what...
Oh, my God.
And would you believe that there's video?
No, is there really?
Yeah, they were talking about, they've ignored him for so long. And they actually ignored it on the date of it because they said there were, quote unquote, conflicting reports. And they couldn't get a warrant until they found information that verified it. Now, how do you get information if people are giving you, quote unquote, conflicting reports? The only way you'd be able to do anything is if there must be video. And there was an interview right after it, too. So I've been keeping up. I do keep up with what goes on with the Hales. I actually have been keeping up with it. And I'll show you the video right after it because George actually did an interview with the people this happened to. But there was it was in action for, let me see, the day that this happened. So it was a week ago.
This guy just loves brandishing weapons.
Yeah, and he hasn't faced any real consequence for doing any of this stuff. Actually, none of them have.
No, because everybody's like, oh, well, it's Jeremy Hales and he's doing things for his YouTube channel. He's dramatizing everything. And I think the sheriffs didn't believe him based on the fact that he has a YouTube channel. And it's like, no, it's on video. But they weren't listening. They were just like, oh, this is just some drama shit for online. I swear.
These are a bunch of crackheads. I'm sorry, meth heads, allegedly. That,
allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. Allegedly. I want to get that in there just in case. Although, what's he going to do? What's he going to sue me with? He's going to sue me with some bottle caps and, bottle caps, lint, and a pocket full of broken dreams. I don't know, but maybe throw some meth dust at me. I'll be like, oh no, I'm blind, Mickey. I'm blind. I'm letting people get in here before I pull up the
Oh God. I mean, this is unbelievable. Jeremy must be feeling so good today because he's been screaming from the rafters for how long that like this dude's dangerous. Not just he's a bad neighbor, not just like that they've got this tiff between the two of them. But no, he's dangerous and he's gonna hurt somebody. And I mean,
he's like, finally, these crackheads are shooting freaking little people in the walls. I mean, come on.
I forgot about the little people in the walls.
That's one of my favorite stories out of all of them. I mean, this is such a bizarre story, but everything, these aren't red flags. I mean, if it were a red flag, this would be like a country's red flag. Hey, look, they're brandishing their state flag. What is it? Oh, it's a giant red one. Oh God.
Good Lord.
I swear.
MG's getting he's getting angsty. He's all, play the video.
Yeah. Well, I
just waiting for everybody to get on in here. I should share this on Twitter too. I didn't do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I did it earlier, but
I saw a conservative skeptic actually posted the mugshot, so you can see. I made sure to include them instead of popping that just off their Twitter, because they were the one person that did indeed share the mugshot. So bravo to them. But
yeah, thanks for getting that. That's so fun.
On ye old Facebook,
ye old Facebook. That's really funny that you put it that way. No one goes there anymore. On ye old Facebook. Oh, well, that's good talk.
I got sent this by a few, including yourself. You're like, oh my God, did you see this? And I was like, oh yeah, I saw this. So give me 1 second. So on Yale Facebook, on the Levy County Sheriff.
That from now on.
Yeah, you should. You're like, 407 years ago, I used to play app games on Yale Facebook. I did. I don't even remember what they were now.
I did too. We all did. Facebook was like the greatest thing ever when it first came around, and then it just became like the worst thing ever.
Well, it became boring, I mean,
it did become boring. It's true.
Like, Twitter, I can go on there and I can slap fight with celebrities. Why would I want anything else?
I know, that's the most fun, is the slap fighting with celebrities on Twitter. That is so much fun that you can troll them and get them to respond to you. Yeah. So good. If you guys hear weird noises, I am Legoing.
Yeah, if you hear weird noises, that's me shaking the piggy bank. So if you'd like to, please add some change to it so we won't hear it anymore. Thank you.
Or that.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's an anemic baby. It's starving. It's starving. I'm looking at it and it's like, oink, oink. I'm like, sorry, poor piggy, I can't feed you yet. So yes, if you'd like to feed the piggy. Anyway, so Levy County Sheriff, a few hours back, actually posted a wonderful link, and you'll notice arrests made in Otter Creek. One of said arrests actually got quite a few comments, Yeah, I'll pull up the article in a second too. But I mean, people
I like Deb's comment here. Thank you for finally removing the gun from the convicted felon you knew had one for at least a year.
Yeah, I mean, what's up?
They didn't want to believe Jeremy Hales. And I personally think that if this guy hurt somebody, especially Jeremy, he'd have a hell of a lawsuit.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you yourself can't sue from the grave. So,
nope.
And I mean, I'm worried about, for real, you know, when we talk about this stuff, we make plenty of jokes and stuff, but it's because we cover serious topics. Jeremy jokes about it too. But under that, listen to what he's
worried for him. I was seriously worried for him because, like, these are like backwoods, you know, possible alleged drug users. Like, they'll do anything. You know, I'm not. I was worried about it.
Oh my God! Here's a funny story. So there was this old meth head that lived out in well, let's just say he lived out in a county in Tennessee. I'm just going to say that because I think he cleaned up his life.
We don't need to say which.
Yeah, I think he cleaned up his life and everything. But he was a manufacturer, okay? And he had this wonderful escape plan. This tells you the mindset of a meth head, okay? He would make meth and keep it in a 10-gallon bucket in his laundry room. His idea was, if the cops raid, he'll dump it in the washer. And I'm like, that's the dumbest
washer.
Yeah. So apparently, like, I heard this from someone else. And later on, like after this guy cleaned up his life, I was asking him about it. And he was like, yeah, you know, I was so messed up. I thought that would wash it away. I was like, wouldn't that just take it and, you know, in a cycle? How would that work?
Newsflash, it would not work. That's how it would work. It would not.
But when you look at this, I mean, when you know the mindset there, obviously these people are fried. But on top of it, you know, all the jokes aside and everything else, we see, like, George goes to therapy. She's talked about the
poor George. I know
the consequences. In fact, the video that we'll see, and you know, this is an interview with the people in the aftermath. She had to, according, again, Jeremy says this, so I'm not, you know, I haven't talked to them about it. I've just been following their coverage of stuff. And I was like, are they ever going to do anything about this? Are the police ever going to do? Like the commenters. I mean, see everybody saying, about time. Yeah, hey, that's great. You know, oh, this day needs to be celebrated. You know, about time. Third time's the charm, you know. But it involved a kid. So let's pull up the article and then we'll pull the video. Okay.
Yeah, it's too bad it took this long because, I mean, clearly Jeremy been ringing the warning bell on this guy for a very long time. And maybe some of you skeptics out there who are like, oh, he's just doing it for his YouTube channel for hits and clicks. Maybe now you'll get it. This was real. It was a real threat.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd like to see them explain away. Anybody that wants to point the finger at him, tell me how brandishing and pointing a firearm at 3 people, including a child.
Oh,
yeah, a child. Oof. How exactly do you wash that little stain away? You know, explain that one away to me, because I'm all fucking ears now. You know, I'm all ears. I'd love to hear how mean old Jeremy Hale out there, he somehow caused this.
He set this up, right? This was a setup from. Oh, and my favorite part is that he wasn't even in town. I hear he's in the chat though. Jeremy, if you're in
What's
the
up,
chat,
Jeremy, by the way, man?
There he is. I see him. It says Channel 20 just interviewed Lynette. No way.
Oh my!
Is there a clip?
Hey,
do we have this?
Oh my God. Look, man. Like I said, I've been keeping up with you. That's how I know there's a video. I've been keeping up with everything that goes on. So, you know, there are people out there that are like, no, you know, we're keeping up. We're just watching, you know, to see what goes on with trial. And at a certain time, you know, you'll cover all of that too. But yeah, I've been keeping up. And I saw this pop up a week ago. I saw the short. Actually, he posted a short. And then I saw the video. But the article, arrest made in Otter Creek, aggravated assault, July 11th. So we're talking today. Levy County Sheriff's Office, Patrol Division, Criminal Investigation Division executed a search warrant earlier this morning at the home of John Cook of Otter Creek. There were skeletal remains of turtles. No, I'm just kidding.
We found the skeletal remains of several turtles who were suffering from some kind of strange malady after being kept in filth.
I always like to imagine that he's like replaced his kneecaps with turtle shells and shit. You know? I mean, hey, it's like the life and times of a meth head. You know?
Oh, by the way, Jeremy, I told Jeremy I was gluing my Legos together of Turtle Purgatory, and I'm sending them to him. I got them all glued together. Now I just have to go to the store and buy bubble wrap, because I'm giving them to the Hales so that they can use them for any kind of fundraising they want to do. So you guys are going to, soon, you'll be able to bid on my Lego creation of Turtle Purgatory. Yes, you will.
I love those freaking Legos. I do.
He's probably wondering where the hell they are. It's been a while, I know. I went on vacation in between, Jeremy, but they're coming, I swear.
Now, it goes on to say the search warrant was authorized based on a continued investigation into the allegation that Cook threatened 3 people with a gun who were visiting Otter Creek last week. Evidence of the assault was recovered. Now that's an interesting statement. That's when I say, you know,
video evidence, probably.
Yeah, gotta be. Because I mean, what else would they rely on? Because otherwise, they've just been treating everything as.
Oh God, I hope it came from one of Jeremy's, surveillance cameras that he put up. Because he had to put up all those surveillance cameras because they were harassing him so badly.
I hope that it's some rando that ended up getting it. You know, because how can you blame this on Jeremy Hale then?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, you know. Actually, John Cook, being as looped up as he is, he probably recorded it himself. Find a way.
He could have. He might have recorded it himself.
He's got a GoPro strapped to the top of his pow. He'd be like, "What's up?" He'd be like, "Oh my God, we got a gun's eye view of the whole thing." But evidence of the assault was recovered, as well as the firearm described by the victims from Cook's home. So they described the firearm. They told him, hey, this is what it is. But as they noted, prior to the warrant being served, deputies did not have sufficient probable cause to make an arrest. Conflicting statements and lack of evidence prior to this morning hampered the investigation. It sounds like they didn't want to arrest him. That's what it sounds like. And then they got hit with.
That's what it always sounds like. That's what they always do. They're always making some excuse why they can't pick this guy up.
I mean, that's nuts, isn't it?
Yes.
I get so frustrated with like telling this too, because again, we joke about things, but I mean, this could have cost a kid their life. Like if that, you know, we should care about adults and everything else too. But come on, they let it sit long enough that somebody visiting, they had this happen to them.
Isn't that terrible? So if I get this correct, the people were visiting Jeremy's Tube Town.
Oh yeah, we get a whole breakdown of it. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling.
All right. Wait. I mean, it's incredible. This guy is. I mean, you knew it was going to happen though. Eventually, all you have to do is just sit back and let John be John.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely. I was waiting for them to talk themselves into a sale, you know, sooner or later. But hey, I guess they decided talks for, you know, it's cheap. Let's go with action.
Let's go with action.
I mean, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So the first time when this first came up,
so good to see justice finally.
Give me 1 second.
Wouldn't it be funny if he has to go in front of Judge DeThomas?
The first thing that I saw come up, though, and there were people like, I don't know, probably, you know, like I said, this gives so much credibility to what we've been hearing about over and over again. You know,
Jeremy must be so vindicated, and I'm so happy for him because I get sick of hearing people be like, "Oh, he's a a click hog or whatever,
a drama YouTuber,
a drama YouTuber." Like, and that's not fair. So what? If you have a YouTube channel, nobody could ever actually harass you, and you have to have extra proof to show that you're not using it for clicks or hits. Come on, that's not right.
I mean, my God, like video evidence. You know, they can say anything about You know, they can come up with any narrative they want, but it's hard to dispute the video evidence that Jeremy has. So Jeremy put up a short at first, and then he followed this up with everything. I'm gonna play it. Like when I saw this at first, like I said, like when he came up, you know, he's gonna follow this up with something. You knew this was gonna have good follow up, but I saw people being like, "Hey, whatever."
Just
so he
pointed a firearm at kids. Yes, children with an adult visiting Tubetown. Now, Levy County Sheriff are on the scene as of right now. I was officially told about this July 3rd, 4:20 p.m. And I've also been getting lots of phone calls that they're searching for Crook right now. So Levy County Sheriff are on the scene. Crook has allegedly, reportedly, pulled out a firearm on children and an adult visiting Tubetown. More to come in the What the Hale's news story.
Okay, so he posted that at first. I was like, oh my God. Like I said, I've been keeping up with the channel there too. I love it when a certain jugglist is like, oh, they don't ever no, we keep up.
Oh my God, that woman continues to tag me in every damn post she makes, but she doesn't understand that I don't use old ye Facebook, whatever the hell.
Yeah,
I don't use it.
Facebook,
ye old
man.
Facebook. What did I say? Old ye.
Old ye.
Like old Yeller.
No, it
old
sounds
ye.
like old Kanye West. You know, it's old ye.
Yay. Yes, I don't use ye old Facebook. Like, I'm never on there. So if I have to go on there for whatever reason, like I had to go on there today, and I look at my notifications, they're all from her. Every single one. I need to block her ass. I'm tired of getting notifications.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked in, so you know, I figured I'd do a compilation someday. I just haven't felt motivated yet. Still,
she bores me. I'm bored by her now.
I think I've had enough distance
funny.
from it that I could probably laugh at it again. But it took me a little while to build back up. You know, the ha-has, they died out. So
they die down eventually when you realize that someone has like probably a mental disorder. Allegedly.
I'm gonna let the first minute off here again. Jeremy explains what's going on, and then you have discussion. You see the guy in the pink shirt. So this does have a video in it talking to them. You know, it's a very good video. And again, make sure that you subscribe to What the Hell's. Watch the entire video. You know, let it play. Again,
let it play several times.
Yeah, he not only broke this story, we just found out, okay, we just watched a trial play out. If people want to know how much things cost, we've been covering the Clayton Echard v. Laura Owens trial as well, and they were awarded attorney's fees. The attorney's fees on that trial, brace yourself, $153,000. So,
and that was a low estimate because they couldn't use the stuff for the harassment case.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking, you know, getting justice, him going out and him actually deciding to follow through with this and make sure that this person isn't in danger. I mean, this has significant cost associated with it. You know, I hope people understand that. You know, when we see GoFundMes and, you know, GoFundMes, and again, there's no insult to a GoFundMe when I say this. It's just GoFundMes don't come close. You know, a lot of money comes out of people's pockets. So, having said that, let's check this out.
Okay.
So,
hi.
Radio station. So,
John Crook pulled out a pew-pew and pointed it at an 8-year-old girl, her father, and their female friend yesterday in Otter Creek.
That's crazy.
You never point a gun
What
at
the
anybody
hell?
Unless you're ready to
Citizen
shoot.
Journalist News is back on the scene in Otter Creek.
Well, them, period. I mean, they're not supposed to have a firearm. Come on. You know,
Right.
They're not even supposed to. So with these reports.
Yeah, but the cops have known and they've done nothing about it.
Yeah, they didn't follow up. You know, okay, there's conflicting report. Well, maybe you should go and, I don't know, check that out. I'm sure if, you know, you have reports of a pew-pew being pulled out, as he said, on a kid, maybe they give you a way to follow that up a little bit more. Like I said, I don't feel like they wanted to. I feel like they got hit with some evidence.
And if he is a convicted felon, like from before, he shouldn't have a gun.
No.
So they should have been able to, you know, get a search based on that and find out if he had one.
Well, Jeremy Hale had his rights taken away.
He sure did.
Mm-hmm. So I know. And this guy, meanwhile, is running around brandishing a firearm in video. We already saw it before. So
I love that Jeremy wasn't even in town when this happened too. That makes me laugh. They can't blame it on him. He wasn't even there.
It's like back in the scene. So
yesterday at 4:20, I received this email from a viewer that says, Jeremy, my name is Wesley. My 8-year-old daughter and my friend came from Illinois just to see Tubetown, baby, population 1, and to sign the guest book. And then John Crook pulled out a pew-pew, you know the actual word, on us and pointed it at us. We're down here at the post office. The cops are on their way to talk to us. Call me, please. John is crazy. 5 minutes after this email was sent, I saw it come through. I contacted George. George was actually in her counseling session because...
See, so... Again, I want to stop that.
That makes me so mad.
Yeah, these are the items that people ignore in this. I think people flagrantly ignore, the damage that's done. I mean, because they have to work. They moved out to the middle of nowhere so they could be left alone, run a YouTube channel, have fun at what they do. And what happens instead, George? She ends up in therapy. And
ends up in therapy because she's being stalked by people. And I don't know if you've ever had any interaction with George. I've had a bunch. And this is one of the sweetest girls. She is so sweet, so adorable, so loving, so funny. It breaks my heart that she's having to go to therapy for this. It breaks my heart. This should never have happened. She should have been protected by law enforcement there. They have refused to do anything about it. These people are breaking the restraining order all the time, and they don't do it. They don't enforce it. They refuse to enforce the restraining order that they got legally in Ohio, and it is absolutely I get so pissed.
Well, on a good day, people they get these kind of things treated like they're small crimes. They're big crimes to individuals, and this is even bigger crime. All the people that see this, every video that comes up has at least 100. Right at 100,000, maybe many more hits. So this has been exposed to a large audience, and still they didn't feel pressure. So George is in a counseling session, and I mean, again. Okay, following this through, how this goes.
Because of all of this insanity, which then she had to cancel because of all of this insanity. You see how this cycle keeps going on with these insane individuals, and goes.
So she has to cancel because ultimately there are people down there that are trying to see, again, Tubetown. They come in, they want to sign the guest book, and they're having to go out of their way to make sure that these people, what happened to them, it's heard, and that they feel heard and they feel safe. So,
And Tubetown is supposed to be, he was going to do not bed and breakfast, but Airbnbs, right? Is that what does he have set up there now? Is it one Airbnb or just a place to, I don't know what it is. Does anybody know what it is?
That'd be a good follow-up for Jeremy one day, Be like,
yeah. Oh, wait, it says Tubetown is part of Jeremy's land right across the street from the neighbor's driveway. It started because John Cook stated at a court hearing, Your Honor, you don't understand, Tubetown is coming. Yeah, but what is it?
I remember the Tubetown is coming thing. I remember.
I remember it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what exactly it is.
So they talk about what happened. The people actually, they talk about how this comes together. So I'm going to continue playing it.
See exactly what was happening to try and help do something to protect this 8-year-old from John Crook and Lynette.
All right. I don't know, George. I'm freaking out.
I am so sorry.
I'm from Illinois.
Okay.
We came down, I came down to visit him, and one of my 8-year-olds see Tubetown, and we want to play game stuff. We signed in the guest book and everything.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, when we were leaving, we went down, turned around, and come back down the road, and we're taking pictures of Tubetown.
Yeah.
And then the turtle place. We got that picture thing there, and then I heard somebody yell, and I'm like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
And I rolled down the window. It was John, and I was like, he goes, "Do whatever you want." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "We're from out of town. We're just seeing Tubetown." He goes, "You're gonna lose anyway." And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "John, we're from out of town." And he pulls out a gun and points it right at us. And we're like, "My year."
I mean, you can see the
Right.
kid. You know, you can see there are multiple people in the vehicle there. So they're just going out, taking pictures. Again, in a little of that tourist.
Yeah, I think it's the
act going on.
picture spot where he has it set up where you can go and take a picture there, I think is what it is. And so, like you said, there's a guest book.
Man, TST dropped 100 for the anemic piggy bank. Thank you, TST.
Oh, nice, TST.
Listen to that piggy bank. It's dancing. No, it was like, oh no, I'm in bad shape.
TST dropped me a 50 a couple nights ago too. Thank you so much again for that. By the way, appreciate that.
It bothered. I have a 10-year-old. What really bothered me about this story is on the Lynette side of things. First of all, she has her kid. I have a 4-year-old, you know. So as far as the kid that's in their care, everything we were hearing, everything, it wasn't just hearing. What we were seeing in videos was very distressing, you know. And then apparently it's not limited to their kids. You know, anybody that pops up, and you listen to the guy, you know, he's obviously, he's shaking. You can hear it in his voice.
I'm so glad he called the police.
I'm glad actually that, you know, this speaks volumes to George and Jeremy too, because again, George is, you know, she's trying to deal with the aftermath of all this stuff that's been happening to them, and they drop everything and they make sure that they go out. They not only talk to them and ensure that the police, you know, they're going to take this seriously, which apparently took a lot. Apparently, you know, because
it took a lot to make them take this seriously, which is really unfortunate. It took somebody else's little child almost getting accidentally shot. Think about that.
And it took a week to follow.
Look what happened with Alec Baldwin pulling a gun on the set. Sometimes you pull a gun and your finger hits the trigger if you're an idiot. And we know that John's an idiot. And we don't know if he was on any substances, if he was drinking that day. Who knows? Somebody's child was in deadly danger.
I feel like I could flip a coin on him. I could be like, heads, you know, I win, tails you lose. I think I would be right either way. I figure, you know, John, was he on something? Well, you know, I pick heads and tails. Let's see. All right, so let's continue with it.
Girl starts crying. She's like, go, go, go. And I'm like, oh, well, hang on. I don't want to take off and start shooting. And I was like, John.
You can see the police in the background too. You know.
Oh,
yeah.
See,
I didn't notice them at first. The first time I watched this, because I was stunned by it. You know, again, you have a person that's outside of everything telling you what's going on. This guy actually, you know, he's put in a weird predicament too. He's saying, you know, the kid's shaking up, obviously, and she's like, we got to go. And he's like, you know, if we go, he's going to start opening fire on our vehicle. So maybe you can talk him down. But I mean, with him yelling like crazed statements, you don't know if that's going to work either.
Right.
We're from out of town. We're not here to bother nobody. All we want to do is see Tubetown. That was it. And I said, I'm calling the cops. And he stuck it back in his right pocket and he started to walk off. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, I want my 8-year-old, because I've been watching y'all for years.
Yeah.
And this ain't what we had in mind.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, this isn't what we had in mind when we moved to Otter Creek with them moving across the street from us.
They're at the intersection that Judge Grudge is making me drive around every single time to access my home in Otter Creek. One of the most, if not the most dangerous intersection in all of Levy County, where accidents happen all the time. Now, the other thing that's going on here is the individuals are terrified of what just happened to them. And so while Wes is willing to be on camera, the other two, the 8-year-old child who is crying and traumatized, and the other female who's traumatized now, want nothing to do with it because they're scared that Crook is going to come after them. Rightfully so, after you have a firearm pointed at your face. Now, here's the irony of all of this. They claim they want nobody going down that road, right? Except, let's put this in perspective.
Except Jeremy and George.
Posted their address all over the internet. Not only that, they also put out a blessing box. Remember the makeshift blessing box, which no doubt is filled with rotten garbage, bugs, snakes, you name it. So they're inviting people to
in Florida.
No, but you know, when you listen to the people, they're gonna note this stuff here too. They'll note it right after he's telling you about it. Of course, they're scared because these people have proven that they will go after somebody, and they're afraid to put their name. They're afraid that Levy County. First of all, you know, with the police, we've seen a couple of cases where you know, anonymous people or mandatory reporters, they've had their names just haphazardly thrown out there. You know, names and addresses, they're supposed to be redacted. But in the best case scenario, those things get dumped. In this scenario, I mean, I'm just gonna be blunt. Like the way that Levy County has handled this, I feel like I really agree with Jeremy. As many times as you've seen violations recorded, it seems like something else is at play. I mean, just personally. You know.
Yeah, they have a personal problem with him. Clearly, they don't like him for whatever reason, and they're making it personal and not doing their job and upholding the law just because. And it's shitty.
Well, and you know, and if you had an instance where, you know, activity that's aimed at a child in a home is reported, that goes to DHS. You know, they cover up names, they hide them basically. You know, you can't touch them. But when you report it to the police, yeah, you have to trust the police to do the right thing. And I think the pressure in this actually got them to follow up. Even then, it doesn't look like they wanted to. But also, you know, they have enough eyeballs on them that, yeah, maybe they'll do it right too. So anyway, let's continue.
Come down the road, inviting people to come to their place. Now let's go even further. John Crook puts up a 4-foot by 8-foot sign. It's a shell thing. Oh, but they're advertising nonstop. But he's also pulling out firearms on anybody who drives by. Can you see the hypocrisy? Can you see the irony of all of this? These two are unhinged. They are terrorizing. They are literally terrorizing this tiny town and anybody who drives through it. They want everybody to drive by and see them. But wait, they're also going to point guns at them.
So you already...
Well, there were reports. You remember, like, early on, there were reports of them potentially firing on people that were driving just down the main road.
Yes. So, and people were reporting that they heard gunshots coming from that property at all hours. And the cops just don't go and check it out. It's incredible.
See, what's crazy about it, like we live in I mean, there are more people in here, and we're unincorporated, so you can fire. You know, like I could walk outside my door in the middle of this live stream. I just walk over, open my glass door, and fire outside the door. You know, but obviously you're not going to be firing toward a road. That's insane.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I live in the country too, so there's, you know, plenty of space. People, I hear gunshots here all the time.
Yeah,
but you know, these are large pieces of property.
Well, it's also
not firing toward the road. Hello.
This is also an import into the area. You know, a lot of these areas are. I'm not saying that you know, some people don't mishandle something, but at least, you know, in those gun cultures, people are around that all the time. Here you have somebody that's, you know, they popped up on property. They followed another person there. They're not, again, they shouldn't have a firearm, period. There's all these reports that they not only brandished it, but they fired it. And it takes this to get somebody to, it makes me so mad.
Yeah, it's maddening.
anyway, let's continue. So here they're talking about the concerns, and you can hear, and when it's being discussed, they're afraid of John, not just because he pulled the firearm, but again, everything that's been going on. I mean, if you faced a person with that, of course you're going to be worried.
Give your report to Levy County?
Yeah, she don't want to give her information. I work for her in Illinois, but...
Well, she could remain anonymous as a witness because she witnessed it all, right? Yeah.
But they're saying that they have to have her information to go forward. Like, to press charges, have them arrested.
Wait, stop. Who's the witness?
They're saying that it was pulled on all three people. So they're saying that the child, the other people could be anonymous witnesses, and he himself, he could be the reporting person, and then you have.
But you got to be careful with that, because look what we just saw happen in the Rekieta case. My God, people came forward and said we wanted to be anonymous, and their names got dropped.
Yeah. 4 a mandated reporter and 3 other people.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah,
I never saw anything so stupid in all my life.
But if they handle it from the beginning, I agree with what George is saying. If you tell right from go, hey, I want to remain anonymous in this, and by the way, you can also follow up. You're out of town. You're a visitor here, not just a visitor to Otter Creek, but you're a visitor to the state. You can actually call in, to not just the local law enforcement, but you can call in all over the place and be like, look, we want to handle this, but we think that the police department down here, they've showed that they're inept. So
they're inept, and they also appear to have some reason to cover up for John and Lynette.
Yeah. I think there was enough pressure on this. I think there must have been a video there, because I don't think they would do anything without, and I'm not talking about this video. I'm talking about there has to be something else. Oh, there has to be some more. Anyway, let's continue.
So yeah, she can give them the information if you want to prosecute. And then if she's worried about her information being on the actual report, they have to automatically redact all that information. Yes. Like, her name and phone number would be protected if anyone called the county and wanted a copy of the report. And I know this because we have requested so many reports from Levy County, and they redact like witnesses' information.
I didn't know what to do. I was sitting here, they told me to wait here, and I'm like, okay. Well, I said, I'm coming down here. We're at the end of the street. She's like, I kept telling me to stay there. I was like, I ain't staying there. She comes out on the road.
Right.
And I was like, we're going to come down here. And I was like, we're in a post office. I was like, I'm messaging, saying, I don't know what to do.
Well, it's true. Like Jeremy said, too, they're in a dangerous area. This is the area where all the freaking accidents happen, the worst part of this area. So, yeah, but
that crazy intersection that apparently no one polices, and everyone's just running into everyone else. It's crazy.
That's just amazing. Hey, why don't you just park down there in front of John Crook's property? Maybe he won't take shots. You never know how that guy. I mean, for all you know, he may decide that he wants to go out in a blaze of glory because of all the little people.
Hasn't he said that? I feel like he's said that before.
I don't remember. I actually don't remember that. So,
I'll take you out with me or some nonsense. I feel like I've heard that.
I remember his statement with, again, I'm paraphrasing, with the thing that goes, "Pal," where he threatened Jeremy.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Right.
Yeah. I mean, but you never know with the mindset of somebody like this. Again, if a person is willing to just pull a firearm on some random person, not even ask them to go away or anything. I mean, if you felt that they were, this guy strikes me as, if you would have approached him and been like, look, I don't want you here, they would have left. They would have been like, oh, okay, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
No problem. I mean, he's got a kid in the car. So I get that feeling, but I mean, you can tell from what they're talking about here that they're distressed and they don't trust the police to protect them.
Like, that's crazy. I mean, my 8-year-old,
Yeah.
What crap? This just messed everything up for me, because I thought we'd come down here, let her play games, and
Yeah.
We're staying in Reddit, and oh man, this just blew my mind. I don't know what to do.
Did you see what happened? Who?
The lady of the store. I didn't see it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
The lady at the store. So I called.
Okay.
And
I'll text you so you can have it.
I called. It's right for Red, so they're gonna be trying to make it.
Okay.
Okay.
What's that?
I did video some of this. Them this.
Oh, okay.
But you probably got that part.
Well, I just got here, and then he put in his report, and then he has the 2 witnesses in his car that saw him pull out.
In the red car, that's my neighbor, Gail, who I admire and respect tremendously. And she has to live with this terror across the street from her as well. And I know the rest.
That's another thing, too. Like, it's always focused on Jeremy and George having to deal with. But no, I mean, this is...
No, there's other neighbors, and the other neighbors are the ones who have been reporting, hey, we hear gunshots, and we think they're firing towards the road, and they're not responding to them either.
They're talking about, like, Madam
Mayor. What's wrong in this county? I swear to God.
Well, I mean, listen to what they were saying about Madam Mayor. They're talking about her like she's, Bigfoot stomping around in the woods at night.
I remember that.
Yeah. I mean,
that was
God.
Funny.
Yeah, but at the same time, that fixation it's unhinged. I mean, they are fixated on everyone. Like John and Lynette, like if you listen to what's being said that's coming out of there, they have this idea that there's this giant conspiracy against them, when in reality, everybody's just like,
we're fed up with these people. They don't behave well. And I hope that everybody who has been a jackass to Jeremy about this and has turned on him and, made content about how, he's a liar. And I hope you feel like a real piece of shit right now. I hope you feel like a total piece of shit. Because we told you so. You should be ashamed of yourself if you ever stood up for these people. You should be ashamed.
Just
saying.
It boggles my mind when you have this many people from this small town that are saying the exact same thing. You don't have to take his word for it. You don't have to take Jeremy or George's word for it.
Yeah. So are all the neighbors lying? Is that it? They're all lying for Jeremy? Is that the new? And then the idiot jokelist. I hope she's ashamed of herself for sticking up for people like this.
I thought
you ought to be ashamed.
Doing the interview with Madam Mayor, just seeing how crazy all of this situation is. I'm glad that I was able to do that. Because, again, we're talking about somebody that wanted to go in, change up things that are happening in the town, and is telling you on a town level what the problem is, but has been a witness to everything that's been going on with these people. Man. Anyway.
Residents of Otter Creek, as you're watching, you want me to do something, and I promise you, I'm doing everything I can to make this go away for everybody. And I apologize. If I would have ever even known that I could have purchased this property, I would have and left it the way it was.
Oh God,
so that this
yeah,
never
he must
would have
feel so terrible about that. You can't go back, Jeremy, and you can't. But I know he's kicking himself for not having just bought that. But you can't know. Hindsight, you cannot know.
It's also, you're not responsible for the actions of other people. You've been documenting it, and you've gone out of your way to try to do something about this. At a certain point, the responsibility, it really isn't your responsibility anyway, but he took it on himself to make it his responsibility. He felt, again, you can hear it right here, but at a certain point, it becomes the responsibility of law enforcement.
Yeah.
Judicial, I mean, we watched that trial.
How about Judge DeThomasis? How much of this is on him? Like a whole lot. Because he was asked to enforce the Ohio order, and he wouldn't do it.
Oh, you mean the guy that didn't seem to mind the tanning bed creeper? That guy? Oh.
Yeah. What am I expecting from him?
Yeah,
Really?
what exactly?
For fuck's sake, you're right.
Yeah.
How dare I even suggest it?
Yeah,
We're
law and
talking
order
about a
less.
dude who didn't mind that a guy was creeping. He like literally testified on his behalf. A guy creeping on a woman in a tanning salon getting undressed.
Yeah, he's like, well, he's been through enough, you know. He's actually
We know who
afraid
you
of.
are, William Easel. We got our eyes on you. Fucking weirdo.
No, remember, it's stress. It was stress. He was afraid of, what was it, skin condition?
It was his personal time, Tug. Personal time.
It's so bizarre.
It was just his
Happened to
personal
you.
habits. Sorry.
God,
Go
no,
ahead.
you're fine. I was just like, oh, when I think about it, like again, these are just the highlights too. You know, and the thing that I always want to stress, because I dealt with crazy, not like this. I've never had crazy like right across the road from me, but I've dealt with, you know, loons online that take things into to real
Loons.
life. Yeah, and they
Yeah, I was dealing with one of those today. Blockety, blockety, block. Block, block, block. You will
you
not
know,
be a loon in my DMs on Twitter. You will get blocked. Just letting you know.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, people don't understand the stress that brings, you know, because you get a daily video, you know, and the reason you get a daily video isn't just for cataloging. You gotta put that somewhere because this stuff stays on you. It always stays with you. I can imagine being in this situation and having, you know, law enforcement essentially tell me, oh, well, you don't have the right to protect yourself anymore.
Kick rocks.
Yeah. You drive
and
around.
we took your guns. And we took your guns. So in case he does come after you, you're fucked. Sorry. It's a nice police force you got there, Otter Creek. A bunch of fucking jokers.
I'm sure tomorrow. I bet Jeremy puts the interview with Lynette in a video.
It's supposed to be. So I heard it's supposed to be tonight. We may catch it live. I don't know. I don't know what time. Let me put on the. I'll put on the watch live thing, and if I see her face come up, let me just see if I can mute this. Yeah, okay. I've got it live. So if I see her face come up, I'll let you know.
All right. Oh, is that on Jeremy's stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's on channel 20 in Gainesville. So I've got that running.
Because I was like, if it's on his stuff, nah, you know, I'll watch it tomorrow. Yeah.
No. I meant on the actual news show.
Yeah. If it comes up. Otherwise, I'm sure it'll end up in a video. I definitely will cover that. But again, you know, I want to say on this too, make sure you sub to their channel. I know people, you know, they'll cover his content and everything else. And one of the things that bothers me is people don't link back. You know, they're like, well, you know, I'm just going to cover this. And you should cover it for sure. But give them props, shout outs, what the hell going. Even if you're subscribed, watch that. Just let it play in the background. Give them the ad support there. But anyway, let's continue.
Or this little tiny town. We know they stalked us here. We know they followed us here. And we know they make a wake of chaos everywhere they go. We're doing everything we can legally to make sure it stops and this never, ever happens again, no matter where we live.
That's just unreal.
It's believable.
I know it's believable.
Because you've seen them pull it out twice.
Yeah, it's believable, yes. You know.
So there you have somebody saying, hey, I've seen them pull a firearm out twice. So you have multiple people that have reported this. Oh my God. It had to be pointed at a child though. And even then.
And even then, they're like, we don't have enough evidence. You're going to have to give us video. The word of 3 people isn't enough. Really?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of horse shit is this?
Yeah, because their statement, again, reading, I've got it pulled up on the other tab. They were like, prior to the warrant being served, deputies do not have sufficient probable cause to make an arrest. Conflicting statements and a lack of evidence. Really?
What statements?
Conflicting statements? Are you freaking kidding me? You know? At some point,
some people need a lobotomy, Tug, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I can't imagine in my town here, like if there was a report of something like that happening, law enforcement would indeed follow up. They would follow up, and they would follow up immediately with it. It wouldn't matter if that person had been reported, 5 dozen times and they didn't think that it was serious. When you have out of towners, and again, look at all the eyes that are on this stuff, and now it's making the news and everything else.
Shit.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway.
Trying to get up here. I didn't see your car. I didn't see Deanna's, so I didn't blow the horn at the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Hers. I said, well, they must be gone together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure where she is. She was supposed to come to the post office, and then maybe she ran errands. But
she wouldn't give her information to him. He runs the tags just to get her information, and they're saying that her stuff's suspended or something. She's like, I just bought this. Like, she just bought it last month.
Oh.
And he's like trying to cause trouble now because she wouldn't give the information. That ain't right.
No, it's not.
They don't want to do the job.
So you hear that too. That's messed up. So since she didn't want to give her information, the police were saying they ran the tag to get the information, and now they're trying to give the person that is reporting this a hard time, saying, "Oh, well, there's a problem in your stuff coming back
with your registration." Oh my God!
They're the fucking victims in this.
Oh
situation.
my God! These cops need to be investigated. I have had enough of like shitty cops.
After
watching all this shit in Canton, like the last thing I want to be watching right now is shitty ass cops again. Like I can't. I've had enough. What the hell are you doing out there, law enforcement?
Yeah, after everything with that Karen Reed, oh my God, drunk cops and
driving their vehicles, embarrassing the whole state of Massachusetts. They
actually fired people because of it. Anybody, I see people like when you bring this stuff up, they're like, oh, well, I thought this or that. Well, the their superiors thought enough to actually can somebody, and then they have somebody else they're investigating as well. I mean, we've been talking about police officers not doing their due diligence, and
they're actually not fired yet. They are suspended without pay until the investigation, and then we will see if they get fired. So actually, no one in Canton has been fired yet. They're just being investigated. So
I thought somebody had gotten fired already. I guess
it's suspended without pay. But suspended without pay is the harshest thing that can happen to you while the investigation is going on. Normally, they get suspended with pay, or they get transferred to a desk job with pay. They both got the harshest suspension without pay that you can get. So that's a good sign. That means they're taking it real seriously, we hope. But it's probably just because so many eyeballs are on it that they don't, they're not taking a chance that they're going to get more bad press. But they better follow through, and those guys better lose the badge because they got so drunk. One of them lost his gun. The other one lost his badge. They were driving their cop car drunk. Like, I'm sorry.
That was their witnesses. They were like, yeah, these are the people that are going to go out and prove our case.
Yeah, calling the person under investigation a retarded C word over and over again, saying, basically she's fucked and all this stuff. No.
Well, what's bad, this also gives like small towns such a bad name. Like for us, our sheriff's department handles the unincorporated area. You have city police, and then you have the sheriff's department. And our sheriff's department is very, very good at what they do. They deal with all kinds of insanity going out in the...
Yeah, ours is good too. They have the same thing here. It's like the sheriff's department takes care of everything out here in the sticks. Yeah. We don't have cops. We have, sheriffs. And
isn't that weird?
I'm glad about that because I don't want a small town cop shop running things. Like I would rather have the sheriff's office dealing with it.
Yeah, our sheriff's office, like they run they run the jail and they run everything. They run reports, they run investigations, they do all of this, and they're really competent. So when I see this kind of stuff coming out of a place like that. You know, it's not just Levy County. I see a lot of people talk about, you know, small town. Oh, you know, you wouldn't want to be in a small. Yeah, you actually would. You just want to live in a competent small town. That's
Yeah,
not
you just
corrupt
want to
as
be with
fuck.
competent people. But these cops clearly are like the Keystone cops.
It's crazy to hear, you know, oh, you didn't turn over what I wanted. So
I'm just going to take it from you.
Yeah. So
They
I mean,
even have a right to do that. I'm not even sure if that's allowed because she wasn't. They weren't detained for any reason or pulled over for any reason, so they don't have any probable cause to be searching up that license plate. None.
They're asking for help. I mean, they're like,
yeah, so you don't start investigating people who are asking for your help. Is that even allowed?
Well, what's crazy is they investigate them, but you know, they didn't feel that they had enough cause to investigate John Crook.
Jesus. Yeah, right. They don't have enough cause to investigate him, but they've got plenty of cause to like take this poor woman's information, and she's scared and wants to be anonymous. Like,
and a poor child in
a bunch of pricks.
Oh,
seriously,
God.
what a bunch of pricks. I want their badge numbers, and I want to talk to their manager. I'm going to put my Karen hair on. I'm going to get my Karen wig out.
Is it made out of Legos? I'm curious.
My avatar has a good Karen haircut, actually.
With
my demonic pizza.
I wonder if I've got something that would work as a Karen. Let's see. I her. I want to speak to your manager, like totally.
I want to speak to your manager. Do I have another manager
better
face?
take my report, like now.
Oh, here's my Karen hair. Here it is. I want to speak to your manager with my cold brew.
Oh my God! Look at that, Karen. That's amazing. You got the real sip cup on there too. Look, we make the team. Look, like totally, Becky. We're gonna totally talk to your manager. Oh my God! I made by the way, somebody in the chat asked why I made the screen smaller. It's because when you shift our images to the bottom, it cut off the subtitles. So
right,
you know, you can't. The road is. You can tell how busy this road is. By the way, it's kind of shocking when you see the amount of traffic rolling through there.
Isn't that the intersection where everyone dies?
Yes, it's the Doom Interstate.
Pay attention to these crazy ass people on this road.
Oh man, I don't know. This whole thing. I watched his coverage of it pop up real time, and like I said, it wasn't him just looking at a report or anything else. So anybody that wanted to be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could see this was real. You know, you have cops here. You have a person with family. They're reporting this. And you see how you see kind of how this is getting handled real time. It's very distressing.
It is very distressing. Thank you for pointing that out. Distressing as fuck.
And perplexing. I like that.
So,
hi.
It's a clear radio system that we use. Oh, okay. So, you done speaking with him?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can have a thing in my house and I hear everybody's phone number.
Yeah, we have a channel that's designated. We have a channel designated to run secure information and teletype, so that way nobody else hears your information.
And then you've got somebody that I've heard somebody in my life. That's terrifying.
Look at this fat ass. Stop eating donuts.
Not the first time that man has pulled out a firearm.
You hear the lady though. She's asking. She's saying, "Hey, you know, when all this information is going out over the radio, I'm afraid that my information is going to be broadcast." And he's saying, well, we have a secure line to do that. And she's like, look, you know, I'm terrified in this situation. She's again pointing out that she's the victim in here. And he's like, yeah, I understand that. No,
he's all, yeah. My God. You know what he's mad about? He's mad that they pulled him away from the big boy. He was right in the middle of a double cheeseburger and they pulled him away. They pulled him off of his lunch break or something. And he's not happy about it.
I hate that. I mean, if that's how you handle like a victim reporting something happening, you know,
it's
I
shitty.
understand that. No, yeah, you need somebody that's actually. Then again, you know, I've seen how the people that are signed by courts that are supposed to be victim advocates, they handle things too. You know, they wander in
Didn't the
behind.
victim's advocate, her son, try to beat up Jeremy in a
Yeah,
restaurant?
exactly.
I mean,
So
I don't think that the victim's advocate. I don't think they know what that means. Victim's advocate.
I don't think you'd want to call them in. I almost said, well, let's call in a victim. And I was like, well,
Like,
probably
no.
no, maybe not. You know,
Not them.
yeah, you know. Would you? Oh, you're really upset. Would you like a drink? And we have a special sandwich we serve, a knuckle sandwich. Whack. He'd be like, no, what? That's not advocacy. Oh, anyway, here we go.
Randomly at people. And that's why we record every time we're anywhere
he
on
looks
our
real
property or across the street
concerned
from them because the man is in
the cameras pointing that way.
Our cameras are pointing on our property.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was the one that watched the road originally when I was dealing with you guys way back at the beginning of all this.
We don't have if he was standing on his driveway, we don't have cameras pointing that way.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's his property.
We have cameras on our property.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I thought you had the one that watched the road, but I could be mistaken. Cameras are so common nowadays.
Jesus.
Yes.
Hold on. Tug, he's not even believing what she's telling him. Do you see this?
What's
She's
wild?
like, no, I don't have cameras pointed at their property. It's on my property. Well, I thought you did have one. No, I don't have one. It's the one. Well, I thought that I saw that. Like, why doesn't he believe her?
Not only that, like, how did they handle complaints before, you know, the time of cameras, you know, because we're not,
he's like, well, is it on video? Because if not, like, oh, well, you're fucked.
Well, essentially what this tells you now that certain law enforcement expect you to do all the legwork. If you haven't done all the investigation, if you haven't captured that, which is good because, again, Jeremy's called it, but even then it didn't matter. But
even
still,
then it didn't matter. Yeah, exactly. It didn't matter. I mean, thank you, chat, for reminding me. This was the perfect button and we missed it.
I have anxiety over the roof.
I should have used that.
Oh my God.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
if the guy, I have to say that would have been the perfect time. It's a terrible situation, but it would have been funny. People would have been like, "John, get away from the window!" You know.
I don't have that one. I wish I did. I should have that on the soundboard.
I mean, you know, the guy dealing with this, he was smart in the way he handled it because a lot of people would just floored it out of there, and who knows how that would have turned out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he could have. I mean, I don't understand. You get from the police, their report of it. They had a description of the firearm. They said evidence of the assault was recovered as well as the firearm described by the victims. So, if they can describe the firearm that's being brandished,
yeah, why do you need a video? Because isn't that enough to go and look and see if he has that kind of firearm? Why are they like, well, you didn't get any video, so sorry, we don't have enough evidence. And what are the conflicting reports, by the way? Have we got to the conflicting report part?
No, the conflicting report is probably the way they recorded it, you know. I mean, again, in the moment too, when you're dealing with an adrenaline situation, I don't know if anybody's ever had to, like, you know, make a report or anything, but you know, I've noticed in like situations where you're just pumped up to that point, can't even remember basic details, like where you live sometimes, you know, because you're just frazzled. And these people, I mean, this is right after this happens. So let's watch the great detective work.
Yeah.
Support and
yeah.
He's there for support.
Yeah.
What do you mean
What you
you're here
just
for
saw is the
support?
female victim.
So he's there for support.
I don't need him there for support. He doesn't look like he could support much except for maybe another 300-pounder.
I'm like, where's the support though? You know?
Yeah, what support? What do you mean you're there for support? You're supposed to be there to investigate a crime. When does the investigating start? I want to speak to the manager.
Well, support means that you go and you run the person's tags because they don't want to give you their information because they're terrified. And you're like,
yeah, that's
hey, by the way, you're a criminal. And they're like, no, I'm not a criminal. I just got this. And they're like, no, not really. You know,
MG says he can support the local Chinese buffet.
Hey man, sometimes
by himself.
We have a great Chinese buffet. I can't say much about it.
I'll have to tell you about the seafood buffet that we went to in Myrtle Beach sometime. It was a scary affair.
You know my stance on buffets, though. I say anything that requires a sneeze guard does not
I
be
know.
eaten off of.
It was our only choice, and so
I'm just saying,
because I watched it.
I watched little kids walk up.
Oh, I know. Oh, they at this one at least. At this one at least, they didn't let kids at the buffet without their parents, which I appreciated. I appreciated that very much.
I've just watched kids walk. I'm like, no, the sneeze guard. Unless they got like a little sneeze guard that pops up at the bottom, you know. Maybe I need to go on Shark Tank or something and actually, I've got a new product. It's called Sneeze Guard because shit is gross, you know.
My son Hangry tried to go up to the buffet by himself. He was like determined to get there by himself, and I kept going, absolutely not, because I've seen you in action. No. Oh my God. John Baker says he has the Golden Corral on speed dial.
Oh, I remember when Golden Corral didn't like serve you stuff that, you know, it looked like they threw in a dumpster and rolled it around.
Oh, I know. That bread pudding, it looks like slop, but it tastes really good, I gotta say.
I can't. I don't do potluck. I don't do again, I had
any of that. You don't do any of that. No potluck, no buffets.
I had a client. I've said this before, but I had a client one time that she was found. She didn't have the faculties to stand trial, let's say, so she ended up in mental health support. Well, her husband and a woman he was working with, they had an affair. She found out about it. So she decided to grind up glass to the size of, dust and put it in potluck and serve it to everyone.
So sick.
Yeah. And, no, what was really bad is one day she made cookies and she's like, oh, you want some cookies? I was like, yeah, that's really what I want. I really want cookies. No,
hell no, not your cookies.
Yeah, hell to the no, I'm not eating that.
Damn it, I dropped a Lego on the floor. Now I got to go under my desk.
All right, well, I'm going to play this while we listen to you. If we hear banging around, remember that's not bad audio on Jeremy's side. And no, John Crook hasn't come after Megan Fox, if that is indeed your name,
It's Megalodonus foe to you.
Yeah, exactly. Now I know why you've been using a fake name. It was because of John Crook. I got you. I get it.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't want to give information because she's scared. She's terrorized. She's now traumatized what Crook just did to her. And her information is going to go in a police report. And now the deputy is telling her, well, we'll remove that. We'll try and do this. We'll try and do that. And then you also hear the deputy saying, as you know, the supervisor is here for everything. I'm just here for support. The now Levy County Sheriff policy is anything that has to do with Crook and Lynette, a supervisor must go out. What? No street deputies. They've screwed up and have created so much legal liability for this department that a supervisor must be there.
Good. I want to talk to that supervisor. Where is the supervisor? I want to talk to him.
Well, you would think after that much liability, maybe the way to curb the liability, I don't know, is action. Maybe that's
quit letting them get away with murder over there.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they would quite literally let them get away with that. That's the scariest part here. I mean, again, what has to happen before they perceive this as a crime or a threat? What has to happen? And the answer has always been more.
Yeah, more. Jesus.
I don't know. I get frustrated when I saw this the first time. I was like, are you kidding? me. And now watching it, you know, I'm watching it again a second time, and again, if people don't want interruption, you need to go watch on their channel anyway. I wanted Megan to see this too, just to see.
Yeah,
how
I haven't seen it
frustrating
yet, and
is.
this is unbelievable.
Well, it took a week. So I mean, we're
These
talking about, you know, the
bastards.
reports coming in right before the 4th, and we have action finally because something pushed this, and it happened on the 11th.
They have not made our lives easy at all following us here. Like, they intentionally followed us here because they watched videos of ours. They used to be fans. Yeah.
He's a super big fan, and then the little one, which obviously I don't want to have to pay for, she got the little turtle out of the mailbox because I guess that's a thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of it, but he's a big fan. So we drove over here from where we were staying over near Ocala because he's like, can you please go see the little thing, you know, and then we're just going away, and that guy just... Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes, sir.
Y'all's cameras face the property.
Our camera, if he was standing on their makeshift driveway, our cameras don't point that way. They believe that it does, but it doesn't.
Well, that's I just need to know that, so I can try to see if we have anything for this gentleman.
I could check. I mean, I could check the cameras to see what we have, but it wouldn't. If he was standing on the driveway, like where the driveway is on his property, it doesn't point that way.
This must be the supervisor.
Well, you know what would suck about this too? If they were recording on the makeshift driveway and reporting on the property, you would have had the judge and everyone else throwing an absolute shit fit about that before. Right.
And John, too, of course, like she says, they think that our cameras face their property, but they don't. Yeah, they're always lying about it. They're filming us. We have to put up a wall. We have to build a wall.
We have to build it out of turtle shells.
And to build it out of the bones of the turtles who died from malnutrition.
No. Those were given to friends. Don't you know? Come on, Megan. You know, they were just lent out. Have they ever come back home? No. But, hey, you know. I mean, I do really want to know. That is one of the enigmas in this whole story. I really would like somebody. I bet if you excavated that land, you probably... Yeah, you'd probably find like under the boxes of poop that have been like unloaded out there and buried
so
somewhere.
Many turtle skeletons, and maybe Chloe Albert's down there. Who knows?
Oh God. oh man. Anyway.
So what's the next steps then if they don't have video evidence?
Still waiting to find out what this gentleman wants to do.
The chat is telling me that the footage that nailed John was his own footage. If that is true, that is so awesome. His own camera footage did him in.
Oh my God.
I love that. I love that. They had to have gotten a warrant for that because he surely didn't give it up.
What kind of moron would you be to keep that?
He probably didn't even know it was there.
Oh my!
He probably didn't even think about it. But I don't know if that's true. That's just what the chat says. I haven't confirmed.
I mean, it's true. Yeah, no. I mean,
they should rehome. I love this idea, Jenny. Jenny says they should rehome Proctor there. Yeah, Trooper Proctor should have to go do his community service.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
The turtle shell place. What do they call it? Turtle Purgatory.
Yeah. You know, this wouldn't be the first time that his own footage actually did him in.
Is that true?
Yeah, because I mean, you know, footage before. Remember some of the footage that we've seen. That was his footage. You know, when he's driving down the road and he has confrontation. That was his footage.
That was him.
Yeah, he uploaded it, and Jeremy was like, that's not my footage." You know, when they were like, "He's recording me every time," and it's like, "No, that wasn't my footage." Ugh.
Because problem talking to this one.
Wait, hold, let me come around.
They're saying that if I press charges, probable cause, they will go arrest him right now. I mean, he's not going to go 8-year-old.
That's not okay.
No, it's not.
I say yes, and then request a Zoom link be sent to you.
What?
A Zoom link so that you can attend via Zoom since you don't live in the state of Florida.
I wouldn't be able to afford to that's down with all the court things. That's just...
No, you can ask for a Zoom link.
Yeah.
You can hop on via Zoom.
You stay around or you going to be fine?
No, I'll be okay. There's Deanna right there.
I don't want to be here your face.
I appreciate it. I'll give you a call later.
Since she's here, I'll go, okay?
Thanks, Gail.
You can hear Gail ask George, do you want me to stay around? Are you okay? I want to publicly thank Gail for protecting George as well. Now, we have very specific reasons why George is in Florida and while I'm in Ohio, and we are not sharing all of those reasons. But we also have protection in place in Florida for George as well. And I appreciate the extra layer of the residents of Otter Creek, making sure both George and Deanna are protected at both times. You see it right there. It's Gail. And so thank you, Gail. If you're watching, from my heart to you, thank you.
This is crazy.
They were visiting Tubetown.
heard. That's
Oh,
why
you
I'm
heard?
here.
Okay.
That's what I'm hearing.
And John pulled the gun out on him. They're saying if he's willing to press charges, they'll go and arrest him right now.
Well,
If they have enough probable cause, they said
Okay.
something about cameras.
If
I-
they have
If they have
probable
probable
cause. What more do you need than
Oh my
more than
God.
one witness? What,
Not just that, he has a
honestly,
background to
You've
this.
got eyewitnesses. You have 2, 3 eyewitnesses. You come on. What more does it take? You do not have to have video evidence. People have been convicted and put in jail for life on eyewitness testimony. This is absurd. I want these cops fired.
We've seen
Tell
how
me they don't have probable cause.
we've seen how
Probable
probable
cause.
cause.
Shove it up.
You know, I talked to Nate the lawyer about probable cause because I was curious about the stuff with Rick. Not to get on that, but just I was curious how probable cause actually works because I was surprised by number one, the type of probable cause, and number two, really the lack of sustainable evidence, before to get in the door. And they were talking about it and they said, Nate said, it's having more than, if you look at, if you look at a threshold, and the threshold is very low, if you feel that you just have enough to surpass that threshold, then that's enough. And talking to somebody, getting this, looking at the background, looking at protective orders, all of that stuff should meet way more than probable cause. I don't understand how that wouldn't. How that
3
wouldn't work.
eyewitnesses is probable cause for any judge. It's absurd to say you don't have probable cause. This is just dumbass.
That's what, and again,
Dumbassery. That's what we're witnessing here. Dumbassery.
but at the same time, they have to have a supervisor because they've handled things so ineptly in the past.
This is
And they haven't learned
unfreaking
from that.
believable.
No, it's so nuts.
It's really unbelievable. It's like, come on.
I'm going to say though, if you've got news coverage of this, that's going to, that's not just going to spread it on YouTube. YouTube, there are a lot of people around, but there's this normie audience, and the normie audience, they still listen to basic news. Well, if that story comes up and then it spreads throughout social media, spread that around everywhere, then yeah, they may be forced to actually do something for a change. It's not just pressure from Jeremy and George, the YouTubers, anymore. Now it's pressure from the outside. Anyway, let's continue.
I need to go pull the camera. That's why I want to talk to the police officer. I want the police officer to go with me to pull the camera.
Okay.
Because it's just it's a trail cam. It's the fan cam.
Yeah.
So I don't have control over anything else. I only have control over that camera, and I want to go pull it because did you guys react? Do you know where you were standing?
We were in the road. We done left Tubetown. We were driving back, took pictures and everything. And then I heard somebody yell, and I was like, what was that? So I stopped, and I rolled down the window, and I seen it was John. I was like, John, what'd you say? And he goes,
was he standing in his driveway?
He came from his driveway towards the camper. And when he pulled the gun out, he was at the camper, like in the middle of that one camper. Okay, well, he bent down to the tree to point it out. He pulled out his pocket. First he goes, do whatever you want. I was like, what are you talking about, John? He said, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? And he bent down and he pulled out his pocket and he bent down.
So he went into shooter stance. He didn't just pull out a gun. Yeah. I mean, he's bracing, he's going into shooter stance.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, I mean that's even worse. Like he didn't just, brandish a firearm, which that in and of itself is dangerous. He's pointing it at them. And so many people, they don't have trigger discipline. You were bringing up Baldwin, for example, and again, that's a movie set, but you see people in real life that are like that, when they pull out a firearm, they go into shooter stance, they put their finger on the trigger. Oh, God.
Now, I'm like, John, hold up, bud. I was like, we're not trying to cause no trouble or nothing. I was like, I was going to let my 8-year-old look at Tubetown. I was like, we're from out there. We're not doing nothing to you.
You have a child with you?
Yeah, she's in the back seat.
Oh my.
This cop acts like he don't want to do his job. Like he's like, well, if there's probable cause in the camera, if not, I won't be able to arrest them. We'll have to.
Oh Jesus!
See, and if you record it, they're.
See, and they're talking about, okay, well, if not, I'm going to have to go to the state attorney, and I'm going to have.
Yeah,
to
it's absurd. That's a lie. Okay, these are lazy ass, donut eating, lazy ass cops who just don't want to do their job.
Yeah, they can go in. They have investigators at the sheriff's station. They can go and they can take out a warrant right away. Now, as far as the charges that are going to come up in the aftermath, yeah, that's up to the prosecutors. How they look at that, the cops, they write
they've
up
got
everything
plenty of probable cause. This is just a lie.
I mean, there's
lies
no
from the pit of hell. I hate these people.
I mean, they're taking 3 people though that are eyewitnesses. And they're saying, you need more. We have to have. Again, they want them to do their investigation.
All the work. Yeah, they want them to do their job. The job of the cops. Like, oh, did you get it on video? Did you get... I don't know, dumbass. Why don't you go pound the streets and find out if there's cam footage somewhere? Like, why don't you go do that? Well, how about this? Here's an idea. Do your goddamn job. Frick.
I mean, this guy's sitting here, they're telling him, well, if you file this, we still may not have enough to do anything about it. It sounds like they're trying to talk them out.
Yeah, they're trying to talk them out of it. Yeah, they are. Because they don't want to do the paperwork. They're like, oh God, please don't. I don't want to sit and do the paperwork in the office today. I'd rather go down to the big boy and get more fries.
I think it's more than that. I think it's, again, when you look at the town, we've heard everything about it. And you look at, I mean, this place is protected. You can't look at all this and say
Hale's to be right. This is also about, oh my God, if we have to break this guy, if we have to go arrest this guy, we will never hear the end of it from Jeremy fucking Hales.
Not just that, it lends credibility to everything else he's been saying.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just about Lynette and John. Now it gets into corruption and everything else. Mm-hmm. So when you look at that, maybe there does need to be a much bigger magnifier. Again, you have the police caught on video not wanting to do anything about this. Like, what more has to be showcased before people are like, yeah, maybe there is something wrong in this little town here.
You're not going to arrest him because you don't show fear, and any reasonable person wouldn't be recording.
My daughter was crying. I tried to pull my phone out and record it, and I told her I don't know what I got. I didn't even get a chance to look at her phone.
Don't they have a camera? on the camera?
That's what they said that somebody sent them. So I've been watching it. Like I thought this would be a great day. Come down and let my daughter play games there. It didn't turn out that way.
Well, we wouldn't be able
They
to see
started
anything
crying and-
from.
We wouldn't be able to see their camera unless they willingly hand it over or have it subpoenaed, but they're not gonna hand anything over.
See what I got.
I wonder what the probable cause finally they went with. Again, they said that they didn't have they did not have sufficient probable cause to make an arrest. So
Liars.
I wonder yeah. I mean,
Lies.
really, that's one of the reasons I wanted to show this, because when I saw the statement,
Everything you're watching here is probable cause.
yeah, for real, and they put the burden on the victim, being like, "Hey, did you record the interaction of the guy brandishing a firearm that may have wanted to, that may have shot you when you were pulling out your camera, may have shot your kid, and may have shot the other person in the car too, If you recorded it, well, then we would have it." Well, actually, I wonder even if that was there, if they would have said, "Well, we still got to take it to the state attorney." Oh my God.
You're still recording, so I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Like we're signing the guest book in the car, and then I took a picture of the thing, and my daughter, she walked over and looked at the thing, and he didn't say nothing then. If he was out there, he never said anything. We left, got back in and left, and went down and came back.
Yeah.
And was taking one last pictures of it, and then.
Well, what else is in the video?
Let me see if I can hear. Everything like us.
Because you may have something on camera.
Well, see, this is the part where I chopped. I'm seeing if I didn't even get none of the. No, I didn't get it. I tried. I just got done taking a picture of the. It's a shell tortoise rescue.
Yeah.
That looked like him.
So what is he?
John pulled a gun on somebody that came to Houston.
Oh,
God,
no.
the whole town knows who this guy is, and they're like, "Yeah, John pulled a gun on these people. Again, John's out there with his gun again." Like everybody in the whole damn town knows what this guy does.
Yeah, even the cops, though. That's the thing, too. Even the cops know what happened.
Of course
even
they
the guy
know.
it's not just.
But they don't have enough probable cause, Tog. Don't worry about it.
Oh, my God.
You have
This
to
guy,
have,
he can also
video
prove he was out
evidence.
there. He has, this works toward probable cause, too. Yeah. We can prove that we were out on the property, we were out. And again, you have the people that were there. All of them are telling. I would love to hear them try to tell me what the conflicting reports that was all about. No, because this guy, his report has been consistent. He's talked about like John's statement.
Well, maybe they went and talked to John, and he was like, "I didn't do that." They're like, "Well, conflicting reports."
Yeah, I was out in the shed.
Seriously, that's probably what they did.
I was out in the crapper shed. Wiping my butt with a turtle shell.
I was in the shit shack, and by the way, the shit shack is going to be on its way to Jeremy and George to raffle off.
Not the real one.
The Lego shit shack.
Not the real one. Thank you very much.
Yes. No, the Lego shit shack that I worked very hard on will be available for bidding pretty soon. I hope maybe when they do it, I'd like to go on that one with them so I can properly sell it. But all the hard work I put into that shit shack, and I also made the shed with the strange toilet inside made out of a Gain bottle, and I had to look so hard for a Lego that looks like a Gain bottle and a green and orange, and I found one. Just saying, it's really epic.
What I want to do after this, if Jeremy hears this, by the way, after all of the evidence comes, all of this comes to light, you have the interview and stuff, then I want Jeremy to be able to yet again interview and talk about everything that's gone on, because his story has remained 100% consistent with, again, video evidence. So they're talking about video evidence. They've already had plenty of video evidence, And part of that was him pulling. Part of that was John pulling out a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they don't have evidence of that happening before. Oh, I don't know. Did we just lose? Did I lose you, Megan?
No, I'm here.
Okay, I heard that. It blocked out for just a second.
Maybe. Did Robot Megan start happening? Should I change my avatar?
No, you're good now. Yeah, well, you could. I don't know. It may have been on my side.
Here, Robot Meg.
I've noticed that.
Robot Fox.
I've noticed recently that certain platforms haven't enjoyed the actual coverage. I think it makes the journalists, the quote unquote journalists out there, look bad when just regular people like a Jeremy, they report stuff, and then they follow up with people like yourself, with independent journalists, and they follow up with people like me again. Oh, we're just YouTubers, and I think that makes people look bad. I think, oops, that's when we start having problems. You notice that? So anyway, let's continue.
John. Oh, John. I got it. I know you're
Vice Mayor Carl is now on the scene. This is a small town. Small town people take care of their own. And so you've seen Gail, Deanna, now Carl is there. At the exact same time, my phone is blowing up with all the residents of Otter Creek, and I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
Poor Jeremy.
Is George okay?
He's like Deanna in Ohio okay?
At
the time.
Is Wes okay? Is his daughter, most importantly in my mind, I'm going, is this 8-year-old okay? Because all I keep getting is she's traumatized and she's crying now.
Yeah, and can you imagine by coming to his thing? Like this pisses me off so much. So this family is like, vacationing, and the kid wants to go see Tubetown. So they take her, and then this horrible thing happens. How bad is Jeremy feeling right now? He's created this thing for people to go take pictures in front of and enjoy. It just, the hell.
Well, it's sad because no one else is taking responsibility, and I'm not just talking about Lynette and Crook. I'm talking about everyone that should be, law enforcement and more. So it's left to this guy to come out here and apologize for actions that he cannot control. Things that he could
he's
never
like
foresee.
he's feeling all like responsible. And this is not his fault. This is a psycho that the cops refuse to take seriously. And they have been told over and over and over again. They have been told. Just pisses me off. I just
it all makes.
I'm very excited about it. It's a dolphin and a palm tree. It's so cute. I'll have to debut it later because I don't feel like turning my camera on because I'm a mess and I'm in the same shirt I was in yesterday because I have COVID or some kind of flu and I feel like shit, so I haven't showered or changed.
Well, that's why I like not ever having to be on camera. There's no burden. I can just sit around and do whatever I want. I like his shirt, by the way. These shirts he's been selling, Actually.
Oh, what is it? What does it have on there?
I think it's a citizen journalist shirt.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it like in the shots at the beginning.
Visit Jeremy's merch shop. Go buy one.
Do what? I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. I couldn't hear you.
Visit Jeremy's merch shop and go buy one.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a cool shirt there, and again, it helps bring some of these people to justice. That's one of the things. Everything that supports that channel, it has actually held these people, taking them to task, and them screwing up. By the way, so you think about the trial where Jeremy has asked, for this to go further than small town. They're pushing it forward. Well, John Crook getting arrested. Oops, that's a real problem for Crook and Lynette. Because when you do this to people that are outside of that, like how are they going to maintain deniability?
Yeah, how is it going to always be Jeremy's fault? Yeah, he wasn't even in town, dumbasses.
And they said, over and over again, not only is it he's the instigator, it's not just he's the recorder. He's somehow the instigator. Okay, well, so is this 8-year-old? Were they somehow an instigator?
Well, yeah. Well, you know how 8-year-olds can be, Tug.
They're probably like, it's a plant. It's a plant. That's one of the little people. What am I saying? I mean,
the little people in the walls.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I assumed little people meant like you ever see that cartoon, The Littles? They're like palm size, basically. I assumed the little people were that size.
I used to love that cartoon.
Yeah.
Wasn't that based on a book? I feel like that was based. Didn't one of them like sleep in a matchbox? I remember thinking that sounds like the coziest place to sleep. I could make a really cozy matchbox bed. I would love that.
When
I was little, I wanted to be little enough to sleep in a matchbox.
That would be so horrifying for real, though. Oh my God. You might get used for like for Lynette's meth pipe, allegedly.
Alleged.
Yeah, you're like, oh no, someone's stealing my bed. Anyway,
you to Carl as well. Not only for being there for George, Deanna, for the rest of the residents, but for serving faithfully and actually caring what happens to this town. The question that I really have, and I don't know that Carl will ever be able to answer this. And yeah, I got a phone call from Mayor Zim as well. Hey, the Levy County Sheriff are driving up and down right now looking for Crook. What are the town council going to do for our safety? If Laura Mott is now in the safety position, can they do anything? I mean, if the town council is in charge of safety and all of those things, is there anything they can do to protect everyone, not just us, people who just came from another state, everyone? Can they do anything to protect everyone from John Crook and Lynette?
Those are tourist dollars, tiny.
Now we've got people, and he's bringing people in to this little town. He's built something that people all the way from Illinois want to drive to Otter Creek, and that literally the post office is like in a gas station. And he's built something that brings in tourist dollars to this little shit town. And they can't even protect that.
It's a question of, the people that are messaging. Jeremy, it sounds like so many people are frustrated, even people that are in positions of power. They're frustrated. They're messaging Jeremy because he's their last greatest hope to get something done about this. That, to me, that's crazy too, because it sounds like he was asking, can something be done? It sounds more like, will something be done? And finally, there was something happened, something caused this to move forward. But again, look at everything. Look at all the documented incidents that you've had before this, including this one. Good God. Anyway.
I'm going to get out of this.
So, I'll go with you.
I'm afraid that she's mad because she ran with did it.
So what do you need? Because Deanna can pull one of the cameras, but if you can escort her, okay.
Now are they on an SD card or are they?
She's the one who handles all of that. I don't know how the security is over there. But if you're able to get him, let's say our cameras didn't capture it, then what? What are the options?
Does it got voices? Because you can hear me saying, John, why you got to come to us? Like, if you can hear it, said it doesn't have audio.
What about their cameras? They have cameras on their.
Talk to them about that. See if they'll be willing to let me see them.
If they'll be willing to let me see them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you go and point out to the people that committed the crime. Hey, by the way. Yeah. Hey, by the way, you may
show me the evidence of your crime.
Well, you may have that, which is maybe you should destroy that. That's how most people would see that. But no, trail cams and stuff, they don't normally have any kind of audio function. They're just out there, because they're in a box that's waterproof and everything else. So, they don't open it up for open it up for a speaker or anything like that. We use trail cams. My grandfather has a bunch of property. We get poachers on there sometimes, so he'll put out trail cams, to see if there's actually been anybody out there, and they don't have anything like that. But it's crazy, because these officers are being asked point blank, okay, well, if that doesn't exist, then what? Well, we're going to go ask John about whether or not they would be willing to let us see the footage there. Yeah. I mean, if this incident, again, you got enough probable cause, but on that, do you really think that they're going to admit to crime? Because they've done quite a few things before and they never admitted to any of it, even though they caught it on camera.
Move forward on that. But I will give her a ride down there, and then we'll go speak to the other half.
Okay.
Does she drive up, or is she?
That's her vehicle right there.
Vehicle?
Yeah.
I tell her I can follow over there.
So before you go, let's say our cameras didn't pick up any of that, and then you interview him and he denies it, because he's gonna deny it.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the options after that?
They're going to try to find any way we can to see if it did indeed happen. Like I said, if their videos are on, if we could try to get a subpoena, it's just, like I said, we got to do an investigation.
Okay, so here's my other question.
Wouldn't it be amazing, Tug, if those cops in Canton said that when they were like, oh, we think Karen Reed hit him with the car? Wouldn't it be amazing if they were like, well, do you have video of that? No, we don't have any video. Well, then, there's nothing we can do about it if you don't have any video of her hitting him with the car.
So apparently, though, the time before cameras, there were no crimes, right?
There were no crimes. There was no probable cause for any kind of crime, because you don't have any video that corroborates this story of yours. Is this guy for real? No, like, is he for real? Like, is this a joke? Where is Ashton Kutcher? Is he gonna pop out in a second? The fuck? This guy cannot be real. This cannot be real, Leo. No way.
They're going to be like, yes, this has actually been a year-plus long edition of Punk'd. Ha ha ha! It's our longest one yet. Gotcha, Jeremy Hale. Gotcha, little kid.
This is so crazy.
Oh
Can you back up just a little bit? I need to hear that again. I literally need to hear that again.
What he said there?
Yeah, what he just said.
Right here. Okay, so.
So before you go, let's say our cameras didn't pick up any of that, and then you interview him and he denies it, because he's gonna deny it.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the options after that?
They're going to try to find any way we can to see if it did indeed happen. Like I said, if their videos are on, if we could try to get a subpoena, it's just, like I said, we got to do an investigation.
Okay, so here's my other question. When we have filmed in the past of him pulling out a firearm, nothing was done because fear wasn't shown, and it was recorded, and we had video evidence.
I can't speak in the past. I wasn't involved in this. I didn't respond to this.
Speak to the now.
Well, he did. And if it's not on video, he can't do shit.
Well, I mean, they're talking about, okay, well, fear was it. Are you freaking kidding me?
You can tell what someone is feeling and how someone is feeling fear, really?
I'm going to say if some mofo pulls out a gun on me, I'm going to say no matter how I react, whether I'm pounding on my chest or screaming profanity or whatever, I'm still afraid for my life. That's the default when somebody's threatening to, when they're threatening to give me lead poisoning, I'm going to say that's the default there. And in this, how could you deny fear?
Yeah, I mean, the kid's crying. The guy is saying he was afraid. By the way, George just texted me. She wanted me to know that that Travis created Tubetown on Jeremy's property. Okay. Travis did that. So I wonder if there's video of that. I would like to see what it looks like. So George, send me a link to the video of Tubetown so we can share with people.
Yep. Hey, props to you, George, by the way. You actually, considering the noise factor and everything else, you picked up what you needed to in here.
Yeah,
I'm glad
she's doing great.
Yeah, they're doing citizen journalists for real. That shirt, that really is. This is citizen journalism. They're going in and they're holding not just these people, but they're trying to hold the police accountable. You know, they're supposed to do a specific job. They're supposed to protect and they're supposed to serve. Who the fuck are they protecting and who the fuck are they serving when they sit out there and they say, oh, we gotta have more. Oh my God.
God, these people, I swear, if Canton just had a little bit of this, Karen Reed would be a free woman. She never would have been charged. If they were like, well, do you have video of him being hit by her? No? All right. Well, nothing we can do.
I've just never heard. I've heard of people pulling out firearms and stuff. I've never heard of it. You know, that stuff does happen. It happens out here. You know what? People get arrested for that BS. They get arrested unless there's even when that happens and it's trespassing, they follow up. You know, they do quite a bit of investigation. It's not just going over and asking a couple of questions and then being like, well, we don't really have any camera to prove that. Therefore, I've never freaking heard of that, man.
You did. Want to hang tight, park in the shade or something? I'll be right back with you.
You want to hang tight, buddy?
I'll just wait here.
Okay, I'm gonna go get it and bring it back here.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So their day. So these people that came in from out of town, their day consists of, well, he had this. By the way, while we're investigating, why don't you just hang tight? Why don't you just park over here in the shade and wait for us to go out and try to retrieve camera footage? So maybe
we're going to go ask politely to the convicted felon dude or whatever.
How about, I don't know, getting a follow-up number and letting these people go, I don't know, do something. There's got to be something in town they can go do. Like take the kid, let the kid calm down for a few minutes, you know, get some ice cream, something, man. I mean, this fucking 8-year-old victim here. You got to just let them sit out in the sun and, you know, oh, I'm sorry, they could pull in the shade. My bad. So they're going to let them pull in the shade and just wait and let them stew in this feeling here and instead of, they've already gotten the report. So what the fuck?
Pisses me off.
It does. It makes me mad. The more I think about this, it makes me mad.
All right. Levy County Sheriff's going to escort Deanna to Tubetown so that they can get a hold of the security cameras that we have. And then according to him, he's going to interview John. But you already know John and Lynette are going to lie through their teeth.
Of course.
They don't have any teeth left. They're lying through their gums.
And not tell the truth. And they're not going to give over video footage.
Deanna goes and gets the SD card from the camera. Now, at this point, as of right now, today, I want everybody to understand we have now even more heightened the security for full live streaming all the time so that we have no more issues of you didn't film, you don't have it on camera, his word versus their word or anything along those lines. Everything is now being filmed. So before, when they were saying, we're under 24/7 surveillance, that's in their own messed up mind. Except things are changing now.
All right, Deanna and...
Well, and the cops, you know, again, like I was saying, the cops in the past, they would have been all over Jeremy and George if they were actually filming them 24/7. And now they're telling them, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing it? Oh, my God.
What's going on, you know?
The Levy County Sheriff is back. See you, Carl. Does he have it?
Card, yeah.
What's he going to do?
He's going to look at it, I guess.
In his,
I
with his
asked him-
equipment?
I asked him not to. I said, don't erase anything.
Yeah.
And he said, do you want to hold it? And I was like, no, you can hold it. I'm just saying. So, we'll see what happens.
In other words, we're all a little untrusting of the Levy County Sheriff Department. Well, little untrusting is an under-exaggeration. We don't trust them at all right now. All they've done is let us down from the very beginning. Not pursuing, not arresting, not putting in jail. Time and time again. Where Ohio has found Crook and Lynette guilty time and time again. And they have another court date coming up on July 19th where they'll be found guilty yet again. And yet, here we are in a situation where Deanna is trusting all this evidence in the hands of somebody who we have found not to be trustworthy yet because every other deputy has let us down. Now, as I say that, I want to be very clear. we have worked with some very, very good deputies on the Levy County Sheriff Department. I think in any organization, there are corrupt individuals and there are very good individuals. And so the point is, don't let the corrupt ones take over the good ones. And the same goes true in the entire town of Otter Creek. Don't let the corrupt ones, Russ the Sus, Don the Con, Mary, Lynette, Crook, take over the good ones. You've got Zim, you got Carl, you got Deborah, Doc. I can keep going. Ellie, Scott, I can keep going on. We got Darlene, Joyce. We got the whole Oystein family. We got Sissy. We got Johnny. You see what I'm saying? We don't trust them right now because they haven't given us any reason to trust them. From Scott Tummins, who takes care of all the information in the public records, to the highest of the actual sheriff, who's done nothing to keep these two, Lynette and Crook, accountable. The only thing they've done so far is not arrested them and empowered them to keep doing things like this.
Yep. Well, and, he said that deputy had it. Well, it's not like she has a lot of choice. Like, even if she would have held on to that, they would have taken that from her eventually. They would have wanted to review it. I look at it, best case scenario with a screw up would be ineptitude. Like, these people accidentally erasing something. Worst case scenario, yeah, people can fill that in themselves.
All right, I found Tubetown, by the way. If you want a quick share, so in case people want to know what they did here, it's really hilarious. So Travis built on this little piece of property. He built Old Tubetown established in 2024, and they put a little putt-putt in, and they put like a basketball hoop, like games.
So there's all the games, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of games. There's like putt-putt with obstacles. There's this thing, what do you call these? It's like horseshoes, but not horseshoes. It's those little weighted little rope things that you throw and try and, see those. They put those in. So like, obviously kids would want to come by and see this. It's fun. There's like a bunch of little things to do.
Yeah, and you would think, taking your family out here wouldn't be a dangerous thing.
Well, not when it's right across the street from these psychos, I guess. Like,
the
cops better do something. This should be like a fun thing. Like, look what they did. They did all this fun, like darts, and there's a hammock to take a rest in. And I mean, it's cute. Look, there's a golfing range. A chipping range. This is fun. This was a cute idea. This was a really cute idea.
This is tourist dollars. That's what that is, too. I mean, when we're looking at that is tourist dollars, Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun. And kids should not feel afraid to come here. This is one of these things that like you put in and like a town gets some business that they haven't had in a while. What a great idea. Look, Frisbee. This is fun. And John and Lynette should be ashamed of themselves for doing what they've done now. This is so shitty.
Well, and when you look at that, I think that adds another level to this because you can understand why people would go there. I mean, it's set up for them. It's set up for them to go and have fun, Oh, my God. So a family thought they were going to go out. They seen this stuff right here.
Yeah.
And they should have had a great time, too.
Look, there's a grill. You could bring a lunch and like spend all day here. You could grill out. There's a picnic table. That's cute.
The police department owes these people an apology.
Yeah.
They do. They owe Jeremy and George an apology as well, but they owe these people, these out-of-towners, there's no excuse.
There's no excuse for letting tourists from another state have this kind of experience. Yeah, and it's free, Denise pointed out. It's free. This pisses me off.
Let's see what they have to say about this. I have to still myself for a minute. If I pause for a second, it's because I get frustrated with this.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I can only imagine like how Jeremy and George feel about it. Mm-hmm. Because again, they have protective orders and shit. This stuff is supposed to stop this kind of behavior. That's exactly what it's for. And it's done nothing. They've escalated their behavior to pulling out firearms of random people now. Shit.
So this is the guy that took their call when she called about the poop.
Oh,
The first time when he was at Circle K.
Yeah.
Kinnick, that's him.
Yeah. In the truck?
The older gentleman that went with you.
Okay. Because that's the same truck that Dean was driving. Same number, 332, I think.
We're not all like that around here.
Did you hear what Vice Mayor Carl said? We're not all like that around here. And they're not. There are beautiful, precious people in Otter Creek. And many people go, well, why don't we see them? Well, we don't have to record them for accountability purposes. We are literally recording what happens in our lives on the bad side for accountability because the sheriff is doing nothing. The Florida court system at this point has done nothing. And there are beautiful, precious people there. And frankly, they don't have the means to fight this. So, yeah, it's a heavy burden on our shoulders. It's an extremely expensive burden on our shoulders. $162,000 out of pocket already. $100,000 of that, which we were going to apply to remodeling the schoolhouse to better the community of Otter Creek. So not only have Lynette
$162,000. Megan will be back, by the way. She got because of the joy of covering things these days, she got punted for a second. So she'll be back in a hot minute. But I mean, for them to hold these people accountable so far, and they are not through with this by a long shot, but so far $162,000 has been spent. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. Are you back now?
I'm back. That was
Right.
ridiculous.
I know. I'm telling you, that's
keeps happening, and I don't know what it is.
I'm telling you, it's the giant middle finger, of certain services. Because I don't notice other people having these problems.
Yeah, I don't either. But I always have them. You always have them, and I'm starting to think it's personal, or it's the FBI, my FBI handler, and they're just like, "You've had enough internet for the day. Goodbye."
So Jeremy mentioned cost associated with this, and he noted $162,000 in so far for them. Yeah.
With the legal fees, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, he was saying most people can't do this. And that's true. That's absolutely true. If you ended up with someone like this, that's why the police, the prosecutors, they're supposed to be your advocates. We love, they love those words when you have people running for office. They love to talk about how they're advocates, how they're there for you. But they have to follow through. Because otherwise, you're not supposed to have to spend $162,000 to actually handle a situation like this. You're supposed to be able to make a report. You go in. I would say get a lawyer that, when you're going in for a protective order, but you don't really have to. Again, if you don't have money, you're supposed to have these options available to you as the victim. But you see how this has worked out. 160, and we are nowhere near the end of this. I mean, you think double that plus, God, man, $300,000. Oh my God.
Net and John stolen from us to have to fight them. They're stealing from the community for things that we can continue to do to help the community. In other words, they're hurting everyone.
We came down to visit her.
Okay, so she's not in there by herself.
No, I would never be back.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, we're not all like them around
She's
here.
crazy. I've been watching this from day one, and I was like, man, she said I'm down in Reddick. I Googled to see how close it is here. I was like, I don't want to go to Reddick. Like, he didn't say anything when we were out there at the fence or nothing, walking on the road. My daughter even went and lifted up the box over there. And it said, take whatever you want. I was like, get back over here. And she didn't know no better. Well, they didn't say nothing then. And so we got.
Well, that's what the blessing box is for anyone to help themselves.
Yeah.
That's
why it says take what you need or
that's what
something,
it's supposed to be.
something like that. It's what it's supposed to be for.
Yeah.
And how old is she? She's little.
She's 8.
She's 8,
Yeah.
so of course she's going to look.
They didn't say nothing then. We left them down the road and we came back.
Well, you can't put out something and say, hey, why don't you come over here to my property? Here, take something. We want to bless you with something. And then brandish a firearm and be like,
No,
oh my
you
God.
cannot. No, you cannot.
And like you said, they didn't say anything when all of this stuff was going on at first either. So, that's just little 8-year-old thinks like everything's good. They're enjoying their experience. They're checking out, thinking they're being blessed there. And instead, your blessing turns into somebody freaking pulling a freaking gun on you.
I got to take one more picture, and then that's when he yelled, and I wrote it down in the list. I'm like, what? I was like, what'd you say? And I know John. I was like,
Thank you.
John, I was like, we're not here causing no trouble or anything.
She lives here local, and she's the main person that works at the store over there, kind of runs the store.
Oh, okay. That's not the owner, is it?
I don't know if she's the owner or not.
Is her name Elizabeth?
I honestly couldn't tell you
Oh,
anything. I just know her from passing.
This is all because nothing gets done, and they get braver,
And they get away
Yes.
with it.
braver
Yeah.
and
Yep.
braver.
That's
And then
exactly
they're
it.
not going to do anything until somebody actually gets shot. And when somebody gets shot, oops, I guess we were
She's gonna
wrong.
pass that thing, go, 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 go. I'm like, I'm not gonna take off, and that makes my willy shoot. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, we're not here causing no
So
trouble.
now, I guess
Well,
that means
she's-
I have to carry all the freaking time.
I would.
Yeah. Especially around
I
them.
do normally.
Is she still hesitant to put in her a
They
witness?
know all this stuff. She said do whatever I wanted. Somebody pulls a gun out my 8-year-old. I want something done about it.
Yes. Especially if she was crying.
That's good. I mean, the lady didn't allow herself to be intimidated by the ineptitude of the police either. Yeah, I mean, he's like, she said, "I do whatever you want," and he said, "Well, if somebody pulls a gun on my 8-year-old, of course, I know exactly what I want to happen." And that, oh God, though. I mean, people like people that are in this town. If they had kids, they wouldn't be, even if they know what's happening. You wouldn't be in a situation where. Like that, and not feel fear, or not be ready. You're not going to be ready for anything like this. But again, these are people out. These are tourists. I don't know how to stress that anymore. Like, I hope, the reason I say that over and over again is because I hope that media or somebody else points something like that out. These are people that came to this town as visitors, and instead they almost got killed. They almost got shot. This guy had to, think on his feet, or how to defuse a situation with a guy that's talking about you're going to lose anyway. So obviously, in his mind, he's got some conspiracy with Jeremy Hale attached to it.
There's a child, and they know there's a child. And they don't care. They're so concerned about their little child, but they're not concerned about anybody else's child.
No, it's endangering a minor at this point to a bad extent. He should be over there handcuffed.
Well, I don't. Was the Jeep there? Because the Jeep's not there right now.
No, there's nobody there. And then all of a sudden,
It was probably just
we
him.
were out there for 5-10 minutes in the rain, and we drove away and came back one last picture, and that's when he yelled, and I was like, whoa, what the crap?
Well, I guess we're going to see if the cops do something this time.
Did they get the thing to
What
look
is,
at?
what is your name? I'm so
Wes, I'm sorry.
Wes. Nice to meet you, Wes. I'm Deanna.
Yeah. Is he looking at some camera?
Yeah.
He's looking at, supposedly looking at.
Ooh, you're right in the puddle.
He said that it happened. If I understood his story correctly, he said that he was by his camper, and there you can kind of see the camper.
I realize the audio is difficult because of all the traffic. And I realize the actual video footage is kind of difficult because it's not centered on faces and actual words and things along those lines. You have to understand, in the height of all of this going on, the chaos of all of this going on, get to the meat of this. And here's the meat of it. John Crook points a firearm at an 8-year-old child. He is then hiding. The Jeep then disappears as Wes takes his daughter and their female friend over to the post office. Jeep's gone. Lynette's gone. Levy County Sheriff wants to know where Crook is. Come to find out, Crook has been hiding in the camper. They go and get him later. He refuses to speak, probably for the first time in his life. If he did speak, he'd be lying anyway. That's all he does is lie. No, hold a second. He's told the truth one time. Remember when he said, "Your Honor, Tombtown is coming"? Boy, was he ever right.
Tombtown is coming.
The sheriff is back from interviewing John.
You know, if people are looking at this and saying, hey, get to the meat of the matter too, I think you're seeing that actually. You're seeing it play out. You're seeing the ineptitude. You're seeing why nothing happens, because a lot of people have asked that. Hey, you know, when people look at that, they think, oh, maybe there's something, you know, maybe there's something wrong on the people's side of it. No, you can tell absolutely it is on the police side of this. They don't believe it. They didn't want to. Ugh.
Everybody thinks that we're not afraid.
No, I'm sure you guys are.
And we have to
record.
The common person would be afraid.
You
I
can't.
mean,
but they keep wondering, why do we record? Why do we
If we're not afraid.
You know, you're not afraid if you're recording. You know, we're recording
For
because something
accountability.
stupid like that might
We're
happen.
recording because you guys won't believe a goddamn word we say unless it's on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
How about that?
And they give so many conflicting statements about what Jeremy and George should be doing. You know, oh, you shouldn't record all the time. Oh, why aren't you recording everything? Oh, well, if you're recording, you're not afraid. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's just absurd.
The guy that's talking about this, I hope to God, when they're looking at quote unquote conflicting statements, they're not talking about, you know, more details. You'll notice as he calms down, more detail gets added. That's because, you know, in the moment, adrenaline rush, and some people handle that very well. And, you know, they can go in and they can identify A to Z. This guy's story didn't change. He actually he was able to add more detail as he's been setting. You know, we're seeing the time lapsed out of it, you know. So this guy's been setting for God knows how long while the police go out and try to investigate this. You know, and as he did, again, he's just detailed and in it. Anyway,
So
I'm going to continue. It frustrates the shit out of me. Cop ineptitude really irritates me.
That's the thing. We've got it on recording.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this recording. But I mean,
Did he admit to anything, or did he lie?
I mean, I stood there. I know he said nothing happened. So, but I don't know as for the evidence, what was reviewed, what wasn't.
Oh,
That's all the supervisors that do that.
so he's a supervisor?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm a useless cop that eats donuts and doesn't do shit. I'm here for support, though.
This is stupid. This has gone on too long.
Just a regular old deputy.
Oh, listen to him. I'm just a regular old deputy. Can't do shit. I'm just a regular old deputy. What the hell do we need you for then, sir? And why are our tax dollars paying for you, you useless piece of shit?
That's true. I mean, honestly, if they can't do anything at all, Oh, I can just stand out here. I'm here for you.
I can't do any investigation. I can't do anything. I'm just here for support. What the fuck? I don't want to pay you then. Guess
Not
what?
only that, great support,
Turn in
by
your
the way.
paycheck.
Great support, by the way. And I want to. I'd really love to see the qualifications that go along with quote unquote support. You know,
I think that the sheriff's office needs a press inquiry from me about this person in particular. He says he can't investigate, he can't do anything. He's just a regular old deputy. He has no answers for anybody. What the hell are you paying him for? What is he there for? What do you do? What is this guy doing other than eating extra large fries at Big Boy all day long?
He's there to intimidate the victim. You know, he's
out
in there.
That's how it seems, doesn't it?
It did, actually, you know, and they felt that way, regardless of how he saw it. They saw it that way, and he did nothing to de-escalate that. You know, to ease their tension. Nothing else.
I'm sending these people a press inquiry. I've had enough of this. What is this guy's name? Have we got his name yet?
I don't know. Deputy Fundags.
Tag or something? What are we going to call him? What are we going to call him? Butterballs. This is Deputy Butterballs. Deputy Butterballs. Regular old deputy.
Yeah,
can't do nothing.
Just not a supervisor. That's what we know.
If he needs a supervisor for everything, why do we need him?
Yeah, well, you know, if I've got to really care in it, and they bring the manager with them. I mean,
he needs a babysitter in the form of his supervisor to do anything. That I don't understand what he's getting paid for. He better be volunteering. He better be a damn volunteer.
I don't know, man. With all the gear he's wearing on that tactical vest, I hope he's not a volunteer. Although God. I have to say, the way he's describing it, that gear is just for looks. You know, my God,
he just can't do anything. Can't do anything.
He's like, supervisor, can I push the button on my radio?
I'm just here for support and to investigate the victims. I'm not. I can't do. Sorry, somebody pulled a gun on your 8-year-old. Can't do shit. Nope. I'm useless. I'm just a useless fat slob.
That makes me mad.
Oh God, I'm hot under the collar right now.
Yeah, but you know, of anything, you expect the police to take the safety of kids, and like maybe it was George that said, as far as a certain kid. Lynette's kid, they seem to bend over backward, ensuring that they talk about the safety of that kid, but in essence, it's doing nothing with any type of report. But when there's another kid that's involved, well, you know, we need trail cams, we need other stuff. Well, you know, we're not going to believe these three people and the stories lining up. Ugh.
Are you taking care of this area now that you're back?
I was sitting up there earlier.
You
got a couple of people speeding down the road.
Oh, he's catching speeders. Maybe they don't trust him to do anything else.
Deanna and I were going to stand with hair dryers. We find and storage units and pretend like they're radar guns.
It's like undercover.
So you get everybody. They'll come down this. They come down, and it's crazy too because I will literally park right there, actually, the backside of Herschel's that goes in. So I'm right in front of a 35-mile-an-hour sign.
Yeah.
Right.
And these gophers will come by. They'll make this right-hand turn, and they'll go. And
$10 says he's got Twinkies in his car.
But they'll hit about North Otter Creek Ave, and they'll gun it to 55, 60.
He may have tater tots in one of those pockets, too.
So
he breeds them. He's like, yes. Yeah. He's like, yeah, you know, there's turtle purgatory over there. I breed things too. Really? What do you make? I breed tater tots in my pocket. What the fuck?
Those are not he's also got a tin of skull in that upper left pocket. You see it? That's his skull right there.
Yep. Either that or he has the biggest pancake nipple I've ever seen. He's like, no, that's not a skull. How dare you make fun of that? Yeah.
I want to search this guy's vest pockets. I'm sure that there is like candy and all sorts of shit in there. that does not have anything to do with policing. Yeah, taters and chapstick, somebody said. Oh my God.
Yeah, you
this
sometimes got
guy.
to grease your lips down to get that extra tater tot in your mouth. I understand. Yeah, I mean,
You don't want your lips to get chapped when you're shoving Twinkies.
Man, that's hard work, man. When you're sitting behind that, I'm sitting in front of a 35-mile-an-hour sign, like, you got to get that 24th Coney dog down.
Air conditioned car, catching speeders.
He's like, you don't know, Megan. He's actually a professional competitive eater. He just competes against himself. That's what I'm going to start telling people. You put a little weight. I'm like, no, I'm a professional competitive eater. I just compete against myself.
I just compete against myself.
It turns into 45.
He's got a half-eaten blueberry pie in his car.
So good idea.
That's a moon
bad
pie.
idea
That's
to
not
sit in my car and use a blow dryer as a radar gun to slow some of these people down at the schoolhouse. We could sit in the
Deputy
schoolhouse
corn dog.
driveway.
Off the property?
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know about off the property.
I
You know,
mean, off
there's gonna be a bunch of phone calls.
on the front side of the gate, but in the driveway, off the road.
No, give me some time. I've been out here. I come out here every morning that I'm working. So
They zoom.
We're trying to help with speeding
these
issues
guys
out here.
knocked down.
We were gonna sit in my vehicle and use blow dryers that we
Here or
find.
there?
No.
Right here.
Down
right
there.
over
on
here.
20 Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 35 from 3rd Street up to here.
And the blow dryer would be the radar gun to stop some of these people.
Have you ever seen the Dukes of Hazzard? Then you understand what I'm talking about with the hair dryer.
Yes.
Remember the radar gun they had?
Good for George that she can laugh with these guys
Yeah.
If he
because
wants to tell you
I'd
anything,
be so
he's
pissed
gonna
right now.
Well, you've got to. They try to maintain decent relations. You've noticed that with everybody, until somebody's just been absolutely nasty.
Yeah, but can
They
you
crack
imagine
it.
me if that guy said that to me? Like if he said to me, "Oh, I'm just a regular deputy. I can't do anything." When someone's 8-year-old just had a gun pointed at him, can you imagine what my response to that would be?
Like, put down the tater tots and shut them.
Yeah. Put down the tater tots, fatso. Get off your ass and go find a reason to arrest this man.
Like, I would slap the taste out of your mouth, but that'd take like a dozen hits or so.
Deputy Ding Dong. Oh, the chat. You guys are killing me.
Okay, I wonder if we get an answer here.
Investigation right now. So
Okay.
continue with it, okay?
Are you able to use anything that's on the
Not
fan
100%.
camera?
There's only one that just shows him on the property where he said he was. That was it. Not doing anything.
Okay.
So you can keep that. I was able to get a video of it. So
Okay.
we'll move from there, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. But don't worry, I'm working on the speeders.
All right.
Oh, yeah. We're all going to rest easy.
Supervisor actually shares a couple key things here. Number one,
Butterball
Wes
says
tells
rest
them
easy.
exactly
He's on the
where
speeders.
Crook was on the
Great.
property. Now, keep in mind, Crook and Lynette are both crying that they are under surveillance by us 24/7, even though all their cameras point directly at our property. So it's good for them, right? They can surveil our property all they want, but they want to cry and whine that our cameras point towards theirs. That's why
Which they
Crook
don't.
is hiding behind a tree. He actually pulls out and points behind a tree. And Wes tells the deputies exactly where he's at. Well, come to find out, one of the cameras actually picks up Crook right where Wes tells them he was, confirming Wes's story of what actually happened. Unfortunately, in that picture, there's nothing in his hand at that point. It was already put back in the pocket. Remember that pocket with the hole in it when he did it to me, right? Okay. So then you hear the supervisor say, this is an open investigation. While they did not arrest Crook, the investigation is not over. As a matter of fact, they're getting images from anybody else's. Gale has a camera pointed towards their place. We now have more cameras surveilling our own property for safety and protection. By the way, her grandson, Landon, and his boy toy, the other dude, we have them on camera with flashlights towards on the property, vandalizing. We haven't shared that bit of information yet. That's still coming in the future.
That's how long I'd be here, and I said probably Saturday or Sunday. And he's like, well, he goes, something comes up a little bit. He goes, I'll have them call you from dispatch or something.
Okay.
Update me, but he said he didn't admit to it. So he's not gonna do it.
Of course he's not going to admit to it.
Especially like the video evidence when he did it to Jeremy.
Yeah, he said no, and he said the same thing. I didn't have a gun.
So Saturday or Sunday, that would have been what, the 5th or the 6th? You know, I think the 4th of July was the 4th on a Friday. So it took them, it still took them 5 more days to actually do anything about it.
Good Lord.
Anyway, I'm gonna let
And
this
we had
finish
video
up.
evidence.
I'll be right back.
Of course he's going to lie. Oh my goodness.
What's doing Willis? Told me to text him that he's wanting to get lunch or something sometime before we leave and
Yeah,
give her some prices or something.
that'll be fun.
She goes, why would you bring me here? I'm like,
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Where are you guys staying?
Reddit.
I appreciate Travis going above and beyond as well for this couple, for this child, this 8-year-old daughter. And he's making sure that they're cared for while they're visiting, making sure they're going to get to go back to Tubetown. At least Wes is. The ladies are going to hold back. But he's also going to take them out to barbecues and make sure they have a great time. And that this lingering visit isn't lingering of the filth in their minds of Crook and Lynette. Thank you, Travis.
That's wild, though. So
It's crazy.
yeah, there's so apparently we'll end up with news footage of this as well being talked about. But I mean, again, we do know that there was that one picture, this one just to add to everything. I was going to add in other topics, but I think I'm irritated by this, so I'm going to read super chats. What do you think? I think that's
Well, I did kind of want to bring up that
let's
other
hit that
issue.
one. Let's hit that one. Actually, there's one other thing that we do need to bring up for sure.
And it's in Florida.
Yes. Yeah,
More
that
bullshit in
needs to come up.
Florida.
This is crazy, by the way. You want to pull that article up, actually?
Yeah.
Can you pull it up? Okay.
Yeah, let
really-
me get it.
We need to add this in as a story, too. Ugh. This really irritated me all day long.
Oh, it pisses me off so bad. Hold on, I need to archive it. I need to get the archive real quick.
All right. It's all good. I mean, at least with the John Crook thing, though, I'm curious how this is going to work in, too. He said that they have a court date on the 19th.
Oh,
So
good. I don't know what for,
about
but
the protective order is part of that.
oh, perfect.
Yeah, so I guess being arrested, man. Again, until something really happens, until they do something to this man, I won't hold my breath.
Yeah, I put the link in the private chat if you want to control it.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Yeah, let me pull this up here.
Yeah, I don't know if some of you know my friend Steve Gosney. He has a Rumble channel. He's an attorney. He was a defense attorney, public defender for many years. Also was a prosecutor. He's one of the nicest guys I know. Like Steve, you cannot find a nicer guy than Steve Gosney. He's been on all the LawTube channels, and he just recently moved his entire family from someplace in Florida. I don't remember where he was, Fort Lauderdale or something, all the way to Miami for a job that they begged him to take. The prosecutor's office wanted him in. The Miami prosecutor was desperate for him to come and teach their prosecutors how not to violate ethics. Because there's a big problem in Miami with the prosecutors. The defense bar has been complaining to the prosecutor that they're sick and tired of Brady violations and prosecutorial misconduct. So they really wanted somebody with a defense background. Now, Steve has an extensive background in defense and in death penalty cases, appellate law. He has an incredible resume, and they wanted him. Now, he has written a book recently. It's his first work of fiction. It's a short, beach read book kind of book. It's supposed to be a fast read. It's called Death Penalty Desires.
Yeah, I skipped the cover, and I pulled down because you know how this platform is. But
Well, in the cover, it's just a guy's bare chest.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, after Shane, it's nothing. It's nothing there. But at the same time, one of the comic people actually got his channel removed because he showed something that it was
Are
in
you
another video. Yeah.
All right,
So
what is the look at the title? Well, you don't have to pull it. I'll read the title. Women are sex objects in sadomasochistic novel by man hired to train Miami prosecutors. Now, this is by Brittany Wallman and Sarah Blasky in the Miami Herald.
yeah. So
And
this is
Sarah Blasky, by the way, is a well-known socialist. She's basically has communist viewpoints. She's been written about multiple times. So this is a political hit job. They found out that Steve Gosney has conservative political leanings because of his Rumble channel. And they have this blog, the court there and the prosecutors and everybody who works there, they anonymously write on this blog. It's kind of like Kiwi Farms for lawyers. And rumors got started there that Steve is this misogynist, anti-trans person because he wrote a novel that has a couple of sadomasochistic scenes in it with bad guys, by the way, the villains.
Yeah, he writes him a book that is inspired by Silence of the Lambs characters. You know, I mean that's what he.
And also,
Steve's
had all kinds of experience with people on death row.
Yeah,
so it's not a nice place.
He says in here, I thought this was the best mindset catch on that. He's like, it's a morality play. It's commentary on society. It's mediation on the system, how the system can go wrong in myriad ways to convict an innocent person. And it's a tour through death row. So.
And he's written two different versions of this. He's written one without the sex scenes and one with, so that readers can choose which one they want to read in case they don't want the R-rated version. And in fact, you can only get the R-rated version on his website, the one on Amazon, which I highly recommend that you all go and buy right now because Steve is being targeted to lose his job, the one that he moved his family from one city in Florida to another.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he can't go back. His old position's already been filled, and they're trying to get him fired from his new job. He's only 5 years away from retirement, by the way, and he's always worked for either the public defender or the prosecutor, so he's always worked for government. If they manage to do this, look at how unfair this is. Let's go through it because I've actually read this book. And so it says Steve Gosney was sworn in last week as a new hire for the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office, run by Catherine Rundle. By the way, she's on Twitter. You can tweet at her. He was hired amid a slate of changes Fernandez Rundle made in response to judicial findings and defense lawyers' complaints that some of her prosecutors violate the legal rules of criminal court. Damn. Sounds like they have a real problem.
Yeah, so they have to bring him in. They pretty much need somebody to come in and to change this culture that's taken.
He's literally written other books too about ethics. I mean,
but he writes a book of fiction. This is a work of fiction, but it draws off of things that he's seen in real life too, things that are just horrific that he's seen, and he's making commentary on that. But it's a work of fiction. I don't give a fuck what it says in it. It's a work of fiction, So anyway, sorry.
Gosney told a social media audience that the state attorney liked his passion for ethics. It appears that neither Fernandez Rundle or any of her top chiefs read Gosney's novel Death Penalty Desires. And by the way, either did this author. She didn't read it either because she couldn't even name the female characters in it, by the way, which is easily purchased on his self-named website. Oh no, should it not be easy to purchase? Are they suggesting we should burn this book?
Not just that. Is he not allowed to write works of fiction? Is he not allowed to write crime novels? I mean, that's what that's what a lot of people that like retired cops, everything else, they write works of fiction. Some of the best works of fiction have come out of people that have worked in this system.
I mean, it pisses me off. It says the state's attorney's office let's see. Blah, 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 which is easily published, it's on Amazon and has been discussed on his Rumble video channel and is listed on his resume. Okay, so he didn't hide that he had done this. It was on his resume when they hired him. Mm-hmm. The state attorney's office did not release documents requested by the Miami Herald related to his hiring, including his job description and salary. Gosney told the Miami Herald that he doesn't condone the sex-based violence and misogynistic thinking of his characters. He said the book illustrates his stance against the death penalty. Yeah, it's a morality play. We already read that part. In his statement on Wednesday, State Attorney's Office spokesman Ed Griffith said that the book was written while Gosney was a Florida Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers member working as a public defender. The book was written less than 5 months ago. Yeah, so what? At the time of his hire, we were confident that he would be a valuable addition to our office in a special project's legal appellate litigation support and training functions, Griffith said. When I asked about this fictional novel, Mr. Gosney indicated that the key conceptual idea was to show what can happen to an innocent individual when the criminal justice system does not work as intended. Gosney, 56, has experienced both criminal defense and prosecution. He served as a prosecutor for 6 years in Flagler County, spent the last 14 years in the public defender's office in Daytona Beach, where, among other things, he trained new appellate attorneys. As a self-published author, they always have to put that in. Always. Self-published. Yep. They have to, because that's how they put a dig on you. Gosney sells a PG and an R-rated version of his book. He has written other books, including Brucey, the One-Eyed Wonder Dog for Children, and a Christian-based handbook for individual freedoms. He's also written other things, but they've skipped over that. The Herald read the R-rated version of Death Penalty Desires, in which a prosecutor frames the main character for her husband's murder. Okay, that's really not true. He didn't frame her. The prosecutor doesn't frame her. He just doesn't do his job. He just doesn't follow the evidence. And the cops are lazy, just like we saw in that last video. The cops are lazy and don't do their job, and they just immediately go with the easiest answer. They just don't do any investigation. And she is sentenced to death. The prosecutor is described as drooling as he imagines media coverage and a possible judgeship. So what? They do. Some of them do.
That very much happens.
The vast majority of females in the book are described with vulgar disrespect by the various characters and the narrator. No, actually, the vast majority of females in the book are not described that way. They are described that way by certain characters, and not the vast majority of females, maybe two. Maybe two. Where there were some sex comments made about them. But in every single instance, it's by a villain.
Here's something I don't understand. These are the same people that sit on Twitter all day long and scream about incels and misogynists. So they're telling me that a work of fiction, if it actually portrays people with that thinking, that we need to ban it and shut it down.
I don't understand this at all. There are violent sex scenes. Oh, welcome to Hollywood.
Yep.
I don't know, Tug. When was the last time you saw a movie that didn't have a violent sex scene in it? I'd like to. Please
Holy
point
crap,
me towards
man!
those.
I just rewatched Game of Thrones, man.
Don't watch Game of Thrones if you don't like violent sex, including between the husband and wife. He was an abusive husband. The man is not a loving husband and wife. It's an abusive husband abusing his wife. And by the way, there isn't a sex scene between them. It's her remembering things and remembering how it happened. There isn't a scene. And she doesn't even go into detail. It's just basically saying that he treated her like an object. And she didn't like it. So, but there wasn't anything, this is so upsetting. Okay. Themes throughout of men controlling or dominating women against their will are threads throughout the novel. Yeah, the bad guys. There are several ARPs and essays. Yeah, we're talking about death row inmates here. We're talking about hardcore criminals.
Yeah.
The murdered husband is found with a sex toy lodged, where the sun don't shine. A horse tail is attached to it. Yeah, haven't you guys seen a pride parade? These things exist. When a prosecutor views the crime scene photos, he is intoxicated by photos of a very dead blonde woman. The necrophiliac perversity aspect of his lust did not even cross his mind. He had shared popcorn with other prosecutors as they watched, you know what, small, you know what, getting you know what, ARPed, Gosney wrote. He remembered one new prosecutor, a small tart young thing who gave it up to him after one video watching session. The thought gave him a smile. Now, let me explain something. She put that in here to make Steve look like a sicko. But Steve was actually writing, the prosecutor he based this on was a compilation of prosecutors he actually worked with. And in one instance, this exact thing happened. He was invited by a prosecutor who was, well, I can't say, but he was invited by a prosecutor to watch a video of a crime. And they were walking in with popcorn. And he was sickened by it. And he said no. And it's haunted him forever.
Well,
so he put it in this book.
And people were sickened by it, which was the same reaction that he had and he was going for. He's like,
but they're trying to make him look like he's the one who's like this. Look at this. The book the main character entertains an offer from the prison warden, who's also a sicko, by the way. The prison warden is a really bad guy in this novel, of living in a basement as his submissive sex slave. Yeah, he's a bad guy. There are prison wardens who behave this way. There's a report, a federal report that was released about the horrific stuff going on in federal prisons. Some of which is like this.
Yeah, that New York law that sunset, the one where we picked up P. Diddy and many other cases from. One of the main backbone to all the complaints that came in were about the prison system. And some of those complaints, there are hundreds of them. And again, not saying they're all real, but some of them are real. And they're horrific.
One character muses that he's going to rage F a woman and make her pay. Yeah? We're talking about death row inmates here. Now, this is what really got him. This is the thing that they're going after him for. There. He based this next character on Buffalo Bill, a transgender inmate described as a man beast and a crazy-eyed horror with a surgical abomination and mutilated down there, threatens to schmexually attack the main character. The C word is used to describe the main character's female anatomy. Oh no! Guess what? Trooper Proctor used that word to describe Karen Reed about 100 times.
Yep. Not just that. Okay. If we're going to go in and we're going to erase anything like this, Silence of the Lambs is about, let's just say, a very confused individual that decides, hey, he wants to make him a suit and he's going to make it out of, let's say, plump women. That's considered a work of art. That's considered a masterpiece. And there's some pretty gross stuff. There's let's say there's that scene of Hannibal Lecter relieving himself on somebody, or somebody doing that, and he does something about it. Rather, I shouldn't say he did it, but he's in the scene and he's like, that's rudeness, and he handles the person that does that later on. But yeah, that's pretty gross and disturbing. But it was applauded. Anyway, go ahead.
The book equates being female with being submissive. No, it doesn't. The main character actually realizes throughout the book that her submissiveness has made her a target. So she has missed the entire point that she's been submissive all her life and she needs to take some control back. And, I talked to Steve about this and he told me, he said one of the cases that haunts him the most that he based this on, that he worked on, was an innocent woman who was put in jail, and she was the most submissive person he ever met. Like, just, went along, thought that if she went along with, and, tried to make people happy, to please people, and that's why she spoke to police, and that's why she did it, and she confessed because she thought she made a false confession because she believed the police when they told her that they would help her if she confessed. So that submissiveness backfired. And so he was trying to write that being this way does not help you. It actually hurts you. And like throughout this, the character makes a kind of a change throughout the book where she becomes less submissive. She starts making her own decisions. Most female character. Oh, and it says the main character is described at one point as having accepted her feminine need, her primal desire for masculine domination. They're misinterpreting that and what it means. And it's too long to get into, but if you read the book, you would get it.
You mean the Miami Herald is not being truthful? No way.
And I want to know how many of these women who allegedly complained about this or whatever, or the ones writing on that blog, I want to know how many of them have a copy of 50 Shades of Grey at home. Fucking hypocrites.
That's true. That's very
fucking
true.
Hypocrites. That book is nothing but BDSM domination bullshit, and every romance novel you've ever picked up ever in your life will have a domineering man in it, and he's the hero. There are no romance novels where women are the alpha, because women, you know why? Women don't find that sexy at all. That's why women find beta males and gamma males really unsexy. Sorry. The book was written, a nurse described as, an investigator. This one, look at this. Most female characters are portrayed as sex object. It's not true. It's the villains look at them that way.
Yeah, they see them that way.
Yeah, they see them that way. An investigator struts through a hospital. By the way, the investigator works for the prosecutor, eyeing every woman he passes and sizing them up for sex. He sees one woman and thinks, I'd do her. That man was based on a real man that Steve knew, that talked exactly like that. That's based on a real character that he knew, a real person. I mean, is anybody out there going to say they don't know people like this? Because I do. Jeez. A nurse described as a hospital slut throws herself at her boss, hoping he'll impregnate her so she can quit her job. Well, we all know women like that. I don't know. I've been reporting on one for the last 6 months. Remember the tonsil twins?
Such a messed up. I mean, it's a work of fiction. It doesn't.
Here's my one criticism. Here's my criticism of this book. And it's coming up right now. The book was written in a 10-day span in February, according to the website. Yeah, Steve, what are you doing? You got to take more than 10 days to write your first fiction novel. Like literally, like you must. And I read the book and it was entertaining, but I absolutely could have used more character development, more story. And I think that would have helped some of the miscommunication that some of this has happened. Then again, they're also just being total bitches about it because it's a fiction novel. So that's my only criticism of the book. My criticism is take more than 10 days. Because you can't make anything great in 10 days, period. But was drawn from a lifetime of experiences. The book's summary calls it a murder mystery and law novel set in the world of kink and passion. Try not to draw conclusions about the author from the content herein. Wow.
Okay. He's like, hey, this isn't me.
Yeah, this is fiction.
Yeah.
But no. So they just ignore that and go on to do that. Gosney said excerpts should not be taken out of context, no shit, and emphasized that the novel is a work of fiction. He cited several female characters he said were depicted as heroes. One is a prison guard who testified for the framed main character. Yeah, and she was never objectified. Neither was the heroic
well, look how
attorney.
fast they skip over that. Look, it's just up, and let's go.
Right.
They don't talk about that one at all.
Another is an inmate nicknamed for anatomical reasons the eunuch who performs a heroic act when he crushes the neck of the transgender inmate described repeatedly as a he-beast to stop the inmate's SA of the main character. Yeah. And by the way, the eunuch was another trans character.
Wow. So, oh my God, they stopped an SA?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's monstrous. Oh, wait a minute.
The eunuch was her only good friend. The third female hero cited by Ghazni is a defense attorney who serves as a second chair to her husband. Look at how the dripping in disdain for the second chair, hearing her words spoken confidently by her husband in the court proceedings, and then takes over very capably when he's exhausted. So what's wrong with that? Lawyers have a lot of different skills. And her skill, according to the book and the way he wrote her, was in writing. And her husband's skill was in presenting. So they made this good team. She needs help handling the complexities of a death penalty case. So a male defense attorney is brought in, and he takes the job for publicity and because he's attracted to the client. No, he didn't take the job because he was attracted to the client. He took it because he wanted it. He wanted that because it was a good case. And by the way, hardly any trial attorneys do specialty appellate work. You always have to get another appellate attorney. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman.
You have teams too. I mean, when's the last time you watched a trial, especially a high stakes trial? And you're like, hey, there's one lawyer involved.
Yeah, no. The story ends with the framed wife being set free from prison. She is described as having grown personally while incarcerated and realized as a primal part of her yearned for a dominant master, a man to take control. The defense attorney, she realizes, is a man worthy of being called daddy. She took that totally out of context. He meant a father to her children, not some weird sex term. And this part really pisses me off too. She agrees to wear the closet full of dresses and high heels he bought her because she wants to make him happy. Oh my God. Literally this scene, she comes home to his house and he's like, I bought you all this stuff. I don't know what you would like because you have nothing. Like, I don't know what you wear, but I bought you this stuff. And she laughed at it like this was just funny because she had realized at this point that those things didn't mean anything to her anymore. She started out being really materialistic. And by the end, she doesn't care about those things anymore. Like the name brands and it doesn't matter. That's not what matters anymore. And so she was like, of course she would wear it. Not because of any weird domineering thing, but because it was a nice gesture of him to have tried to give her a closet full of clothes because she didn't have anything coming out of prison. She completely misread that scene. What a moron. I'm so pissed about it. I can't even tell you. I wish I had it in front of me. I could read that scene because it's so ridiculous to have taken that so out of context. In the book Acknowledgements, Ghazni thanks his friends, including online followers with account names like Legal Vices and Let's Go Brandon.
Legal Vices. Oh no.
Oh man. Oh no. Oh no, Legal Vices. And if anybody knows Jeff, Legal Vices, he's only the nicest guy on earth, besides Steve Ghazni. Ghazni told his Rumble audience that he moved with his wife and son to Miami from Daytona Beach. He says Fernandez Rundle's office crafted a position for him. They did. They talked him into moving down there. And now, if they listen to this garbage and get rid of him, I think they're liable for that. And I think they better watch it, is what I think. I think you better watch it, Miami-Dade, if you think that you can just fire him and have no consequence. Because this book was on his resume. And if you thought it might have been a problem, well, then you should have fucking read it before you hired him. You don't listen to people like this.
Have these people never read American Psycho? You know, we have the movie version of it, but the book version of it, again, we're seeing life through a sociopath's eyes. I mean, and he does horrible things I'm not even going to mention on this live stream, but things that, you know, he does terrible things to women, and he does he ends up killing, they left it out of the movie, they ends up killing a kid, you know, at the zoo. And I mean, all of this stuff is it's horrific, but it's a character. I don't think when I read that, hey, Bret Easton Ellis is some kind of sicko and he's writing about his real life. Again, those things are celebrated novels. It's just, it baffles me.
Andrew Branca tweeted out that, like, the author of Jaws must have really wanted people to get eaten by sharks. Yeah, J.K. Rowling must really secretly want to be a world domineering villain. Like, what the hell are we doing? At the same time, I bet you that I haven't done enough research on this woman who wrote this, but I guarantee you that she's written some article defending those disgusting pornographic books for children.
I bet you really the key word in here that we take away from this is that he talked about it on his Rumble channel, because they bring up Rumble over and over again.
Yeah, they don't like Rumble. Look at this. They've been looking for a defense perspective, Gosney said of Fernandez Rundle's office on his Rumble program. It's almost a dream job. They said, we need you here. We'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Gosney said he'll be writing policies, offering his ethics expertise, training young prosecutors, and maybe being a part of a prosecution integrity unit. Fernandez Rundle did not announce creation of such a unit, though it had been requested by local defense attorneys. And I would just like to point out, anybody have any inkling who might want to get rid of Steve Gosney before he even gets started? Maybe it's the prosecutors who are up to their ass in corruption that the defense bar has been complaining about for years. You think that maybe it's the corrupt prosecutors themselves who don't want him? And if the boss that hired him listens to this, you're playing right into the hands of the corruption you want to root out. I can see it plain as day. The fuck is your problem, Miami-Dade?
This just really annoys me. I know a lot of people that write. You know, I like horror. I write a lot of horror sometimes and you know, having that attached to you, they wouldn't attach this to most people. It's also a fascinating. They're trying to take away somebody that would hold a prosecutor's office accountable, that would come up with ways that would actually benefit people, like the women they talked about in this that could be falsely convicted because a prosecutor won't do their fucking job. They want to fire the guy that actually might put in policy that could change something like that.
She admits that this is a job that creating this unit had been requested by defense attorneys, and they're going to destroy it before it even gets going. And by the way, this same author, Brittany, what's her name? Brittany, what's this bitch's last name? Tug, I need to know her last name.
Wallman.
Okay, Brittany Wallman allegedly writes about prosecutorial misconduct. She's all upset about it. She's got her undies in a bunch about it. And yet, at the same time, she's going to let herself be used by those same corrupt prosecutors to get rid of the one guy who was coming in to stop it. Great job. Great job, Brittany. Let's cue the sarcastic clapping, shall we? Great job. Terrific job, Brittany. Good going.
Yeah, when I heard about this, when I heard about this, I thought, him of all people, though. I mean, he's one of the nice people out there, you know. I mean,
I know he barely swears ever. He's super respectful. Calling him a misogynist is so hurtful. It's so dishonest. Of all the male lawyers I've ever been on broadcasts with, Steve Gosney is the last. I've been on with a lot of guys who have problems with women, by the way. I've put up with a lot of women bashing and bashing me for just being there and daring to have a voice, okay? Never in the history of anything ever has Steve Gosney taken part in any of that. This is sick. This is sickening. They have done this purposefully. It's one, because he's a conservative, but two, the reason why Brittany Wallman wrote this is because he's conservative, and she can justify that she hates him because he's conservative. But the people who tipped her off to this are the corrupt people she wants to get rid of in the first place. What a freaking dumbass. Sorry, Brittany, but you didn't pass my IQ test.
This just irritates me. Again, the message that they're sending, though, they back some of the most horrific BS books that are out there. And then one that, you know, he's like, I'm drawing this from life experiences. If you think this is bad, well, these are the kind of things he's trying to change. He's trying, I mean, these are people that he's seen. Again. Oh, my God.
He doesn't really,
I would say, I just don't give I really don't give a fuck that it does or doesn't draw on that, because he's writing a piece of fiction. You may hate what he writes. There's a guy out there named Edward Lee. Edward Lee, he's written books for, including like Berkeley Press. I mean, we're talking about, you know, attached to esteemed universities. Well, part of that, he writes very graphic horror. Like goes for shock value. It's like over the top, like gross. I wouldn't recommend it to most people, but he has the right to do that if that's what he wants to do. I've never seen one of these folks. I've seen plenty of them go out and herald what he does. You know, he's done this. It's shocking. Oh, wow, that's something else. But I've never seen one actually go after him and try to shut him down as a writer.
It's sickening. And for the people in the chat who are like, you're criticizing me for saying it's because he's a conservative. It is. It is. If his politics were to the left, these people would leave him alone. And when I say these people, I mean the journalists. You don't understand. I've done enough research into Brittany and her little co-writer there to know that they are on the left solidly. So that gives them in their mind, it gives them the permission to destroy this man's life, knowing that this was his dream job, by the way. It gives them permission to do that because he's the enemy. And yes, some people think that way. Not me. I don't think that way. I think everybody can be friends. My motto on my channel is let's make Americans friends again, no matter who you vote for. I don't believe in this cancel culture bullshit, politics of personal destruction nonsense. I would never go after one of you for your political beliefs. I don't give a fuck who you vote for. But these journalists, oh, they do. Oh, they do. Believe me, they do. Taylor Lorenz and Kat fucking Tenbarge. If you are the slightest bit right of, a socialist, they will destroy you. You have the wrong opinions. Cancel culture is a real thing, and it's on the left. Yeah, there are some people on the right who want to play the game because it's like a tit for tat. And in some cases, I think, yeah, as long as you're going to play this game, I'll roll around in the mud with you. I'll cancel your ass for whatever, even though I think it's bullshit, until it stops, until nobody gets canceled for stuff like this. But they are not, these two journalists I am talking about are solidly, clearly on the left. And you can get all like, bitchy about it, and you're painting everybody with a big brush. No, I'm not. I'm talking about two journalists. Two journalists. Brittany Wallman and her little socialist pal, Sarah whatever.
Sarah Blasky, I think is her name.
Sarah Blasky.
I haven't researched the people. Yeah,
These two are nasty. Cancel culture, SJWs. And they should be shamed for this. Because what does the left always, what are they always freaking out about? Oh, don't burn books. We can't ban books. Banning books is something that the Republicans want to do. Really? Well, au contraire, mon frere. Look at what they're trying to do here.
I think we should hold people accountable no matter what side of an aisle they're on. And people do get motivated by politics. They do. Both sides of it. They're wrong. They're wrong. Ultimately, this guy goes in and we have an issue. We've just looked at issues that come up in police departments. So we've looked at them a lot. We've looked at that in prosecutorial misconduct. We've looked at that in many cases, where people either they won't act or they're inept or worse, they're corrupt. And yeah, this guy's brought in to handle that, but because he wrote a piece of fiction that they wouldn't do this elsewise. It doesn't have anything to really do with the piece of fiction. It has to do with who he is. And That's nasty work.
And there was no way that this wasn't planned somehow. Because think about it, Steve actually is not well known. How did the Miami Herald dig all this? How did they? This book is not a big bestseller. It just came out 5 months ago. Although I think we should change that right now. I think you guys should all go over to Amazon. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and everybody go and pick up this book.
Yeah, there's the PG version of it.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that you should buy because that's the one that's available on Amazon. Steve says anyway he can't get out the other ones right now because he's still not completely moved in Miami, which is unbelievable to me. It's like this has happened to him within a month and a half of having this job. How bad must the corruption be that they want to get rid of this guy so bad?
Yeah, because I mean, like you said. He's not very well known. On top of that, they'd have to go in, they'd have to find him, they'd have to find this work of fiction, they'd have to figure out, hey, there's multiple types. There's one that you'd have to find on his website specifically. You'd have to search it out, and then they'd have to, go in and find the issues to complain about with it. It just it seems like a hatchet job.
It's a total hatchet job. How do I get a smaller link? Let's see, tiny URL. These stupid Amazon links are way too long.
Yeah, they're like four score
and 7 years ago. God, all right, here we go. Now I got one. Copy. All right, sorry.
It just makes me mad. Like if I get targeted in my job because I've seen people that have tried to target you for whatever. Oh my God, you have the wrong opinion. I talk about false allegations. I talk about not listening and not believing. Oh, you can't do that because you're in mental health. Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I very much can. I can have my own opinions on shit, and I may have seen them play out in real life. We all draw off real life too, but people will target you. They'll try to cost you everything. And if people allow that, like again, Steve Gosney, I mean, this is a guy that he's been brought in for a legit reason. But above everything, they're targeting him. They couldn't find any other way to do it, so they targeted him through a work of fiction.
It's so stupid. And also, keep in mind, it's his very first attempt at fiction. Is it a John Grisham novel? No. But it's a pretty good little allegory of what can go wrong when the state doesn't do its homework and when cops are too lazy, like Deputy Donuts. When they're too lazy to go do their job and how it can affect innocent people. And, I basically skipped over the sex stuff because I'm not interested in that. I'll do that in other books too. And if you skip over it, you still get the concept of the book, which is it's about prosecutorial misconduct and how it hurts innocent people. And by the way, the PG version doesn't have any of it in there. It even has a different cover.
It's just
Let's
amazing.
give him a little gift. Let's give him a gift tonight and give him a sales boost. This kind of thing should never happen to anybody. Here, I'll bring it up. Oh no, I can't bring it up. Never mind.
I think people need
I'll
to
dox
be loud
myself.
About I think people need to be loud about the idea that this isn't acceptable. Very well. They need to be very loud about that. Because ultimately, if we're not, who will be? Because these are the people in positions of prominence in journalism. Again, they're using the Miami Herald, and they've done this many times. The Miami Herald. It was fascinating when I heard about this. My first guess was, "Hey, the Miami Herald's doing this, right?" And sure enough, it was. What a shocker.
The chat says I'm missing Channel 20 News. Guys, I've been monitoring it. I still haven't seen it.
Is it on?
Well, it's been on this whole time. Local News Live. Now they're doing the weather report.
If somebody captures it, and again, I'm sure Jeremy will put it on too. But if that segment comes up, I'll add it to.
I've got, you can see it on my screen. I shared it with you. You can kind of, it's muted. You can put it up if you want us to monitor it while we watch Superchats. While you read Superchats.
I'm sure, again, this story will not play out in one day. It didn't play out. The arrest did not come in one day. Again, when let me pull up that wonderful mugshot one more time. No, I'm not going to pull up their feed. They'll freaking they'll strike me for showing the whole damn thing. I bet they would. So if you see something come up, though, I'll play it. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I'll leave it on the shared thing down there.
Yeah.
So if I see it, you can just pop it right up.
But just remember, this didn't happen in a day. So this thing is not going to play out over a day. What we're going to see, what I'm wondering is how this is going to impact that hearing on the 19th. Because I mean, even if, again, he has the right to due process like everyone. At the same time, we've had video evidence. I feel very confident in saying that, yes, he did this. You know why? Because he's done stuff like this before. We've seen the proof. I feel like I've afforded him every doubt that I could have. When people come with video evidence, I mean, that's something different. So I'm going to hit the super chats too. And people do need to really be loud about that Steve Goss.
Yeah, definitely. And Jess pointed out in the chat, this is a very good point. Big numbers of reviews help books on Amazon. So if you do purchase to help out, please leave a review. Yes, that's a really great, that's like one of those algorithm things like on YouTube with the algorithms. On Amazon, that makes a big difference. So if you do buy it, leave a review, leave an honest one, but leave a review.
Well, when the thing you talked about too, the reasoning that people would have to shut that down. I don't want people responding because they're like, oh man, I'm on the other side. No, it's just wrong. It's wrong, period. People, again, you should be able to, the base of that is I should be able to have a job. And at the end of the day, I can write whatever. If I wanted to go out and again, write 50 Shades of Smut or, whatever, you should be able to.
This is America. As long as you write these books for adults, if it's got all kinds of bad shit in it, I don't care. I don't like that they're writing that kind of stuff for kids because I don't want my kids to come across it in the kids aisle, But if it's for adults, oh, no. Like you write whatever you want. This is America, ma'am. I don't know what the problem is with these Miami Herald journalists that they don't understand that.
I remember when American Psycho came out and it was something else, and it became a bestseller because of all the it took the line and it went well past it. If people have seen the movie and they've never read the book, by the way, that is not that's more like the PG version of American Psycho. It's there's a lot of messed up stuff in the movie, but it's treated more like a very dark comedy. That book is not. And again, we treat some people like heroes when they write stuff like that. You don't have to like a book either, but it has
no.
The right
if you
to
hate
exist.
it, you know what the appropriate thing to do if you don't like a book is? Leave a bad review. Yeah. That's the appropriate thing. You go to the book thing or Goodreads and you leave your opinion of that book right there. And then you leave it alone. You don't hunt down the author and destroy his side job or his day job. You don't do that. What kind of person does something like that?
Well, and they could have, he clarifies when he's talking about this. Again, I'm drawing from experience. These are things I saw. So if it offends you when you read that, then maybe you should support the guy going in and rehabilitating the very system that causes that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's chat it up. Linda, thank you for the $2 super sticker that kicked us all off. Thank you. Appreciate that. Fallen Hero. What's up, Fallen Hero? How you doing? Thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you. Appreciate it. Wendy. What's up, Wendy? Thanks for the 5 there. 1K watching. Less than 400 likes. People, please hit that thumbs up. Indeed. Hit it. Oh, man. Tell it it's your friend. Share it. Make it feel like you actually love it. Catherine, thanks for the 2 there. Hey, Tug and Megan, money for your piggy bank. Oh, the piggy bank is, it looks a little more celebratory, Scott, thanks for the $5 bills for the piggy. When I read that now, though, I keep thinking about that police officer.
That cop.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. Fake Laura Owens, thanks for the 5 there. Hey, I'm on Facebook. It's where all my friends are. Oh, wait. Those are Daddy's friends. I had something I was going to bring up with Echard, but I'm just like, I'll just save it for.
I got that for tomorrow, actually, on my channel. I'm going to be reading Woodnick's response to the motion to dismiss Judge Mata. That's coming up tomorrow on my channel, probably around 9 or 10 a.m. That's what I'm thinking.
Be funny. I'll probably cover something on that. Or, this story again. The whole thing with John Craig is not over either. So we'll see. We'll see how tomorrow fleshes out. There, thanks for the 3 months there. Jeremy was beaming today during a live stream. He had to change his song lyrics for Otter Creek song. I actually saw that. It was funny. I saw him going for his video. I saw him going for the old instrument. It's like, heck yeah. Okay, Matt Red Creek, thanks for the vibe. Jeremy in chat said 20 in Gainesville interviewed Lynette. Yeah. So hopefully, like I said, we can end up with that. And if we don't see it come up again. If you see it, send it to me, clip it, whatever, I figure it's probably better anyway. It's Jeremy's thing. He can bring it up there, but I still like to look at it, comment on it and everything. Dean, thanks for the 2. Here's a couple of coins for that hungry piggy bank. Thank you. Appreciate that. Fake Laura Owens, thanks for the fun. Dear Cook, 1-800 Genghis, it works. All the best, Laura. Angel Parent Perez, thanks for the fun there. Look at what the hell said. Their own video busted crook. Indeed. That's true. That's true. That's what he said in there. We'll see. I want to see what happened with it. But it will be really fascinating if that is indeed what did it. That they took video and they busted themselves. Jim, so if I remember, Lynette and Crook are to appear in Ohio court this week to answer for the second violation of the protective order on the 19th. Oh, I can't wait. That'll be something else I'm going to talk about for sure. Fake Laura Owens, thanks for Tube Town. That's what my sister and I called tonsils. Thanks for the 2 there.
Good.
Justice finally. I mean, I feel like that. It's finally some justice being showcased. Fake Laura Owens, thanks for the 5 there. 153K. That's $1 for every time I've fallen off my 3-foot-high baby horsey pony. I've fallen 153,000 times. That's awesome. Tease T, by the way, thank you again. Appreciate this. Thanks for the $100 there for the Little's Piggy Bank. Indeed. We're actually they're gonna have a chance to do something with that, so it'll be fun. Max Ladd, thanks for the 2. Tug Willis is in the chat, creator of Toontown. That'd be cool. See, I think I enjoy talking to Madam Mayor. I'd like to talk to some other people that as this.
Yeah, maybe talk to Travis.
Forward, yeah, I'd love to actually talk to just to see I hate the reflection that we get of this town because of these people. They're not this town. And, regular people, like when you see people.
They moved into this town.
Yeah, they moved in. But a lot of people, when they see it from the out. Yeah, that's my favorite word.
They're carpetbaggers from some other place in Florida, and they followed Jeremy.
They're worse than anything. They're stalkers, man. Whew. So crazy. Fake Laura Owens, thanks for the 5. Wow, I have a blessing box too. I tried to give it to Clayton. He declined like all the others. Oh my God, that's funny. Paula, thanks for the 2. About time these 2 got held accountable.
Wait, I missed that. What? I was trying not to miss the Gainesville thing. Oh my God, I enjoy Fake Laura Owens so much more than
that's one of my favorite accounts. That's one of my favorite.
I know.
I love seeing them.
I enjoy her so much.
Paula, thanks for the 2. About time these 2 get accountable. Indeed, we'll see how it plays out. I'll believe it when I see it really play all the way. And Paula, thanks for the 2. John's a felon. He should never have a gun anyway. Indeed.
Right.
Jeremy's not allowed to have a gun, but these folks. Niece, thanks for the 10 there. I can't wait to see how Lynette spins Crook being arrested. Oh, God, it's going to be fun. I hope she sounds just like she did and all that courtroom stuff.
anxiety over the roof. My child just fell down. You are
awesome.
not a nice person.
In the middle of the thing, she'd be like, but my child just fell down. Oh my God, I'd die. Crook has 3 separate charges against him from this incident for pointing his pew-pew towards 3 people. Sharp will spin this too. Oh, of course. Can't wait for the spin, right? Mike, thanks for the 5. Jeremy posted the police car recording, Lynette, at 3:30. Oh, so he did. I haven't even gotten a chance to look at that. I'm usually a day behind on anything Jeremy posts. I don't have time to hit it, but I hit it usually in the mornings. I'm getting ready. That way I have plenty of time. Like I said, that's the reason I knew about the rest. I'd been watching it, and other people pointed it out to me, and I kept wondering, is anything going to happen? But we had all this extra description by somebody that, again, they were just a visitor. They were just a tourist. So I thought that was fascinating.
Terrible.
And I wanted to be able to do a complete follow-up. I thought about mentioning it in a live stream before that, but I'm glad I didn't. That way we could look at it with the arrest. So that actually worked out pretty good. I'll check out that video though, for sure. Robert, thanks for the 10. I have a suggestion. Someone that directly involved needs to call the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and make a complaint against the Sheriff's Department. Can't. I think the victim in this, if it's not handled correctly, I think they need to do a little bit of follow-up. I mean, again, they're victims. They can handle it anyway. I'm not criticizing them in any way, shape, or form when I say that too. Victims handle things how they can. But if they feel that they didn't get justice in this stuff, if they feel that this was handled ineptly, if they feel that the license plate was taken and they were kind of pressured and they weren't treated like victims, I'd have a complaint. Tracy, thanks for the 10. Megan, I need you to look into the other case in Canton. I only trust you to tell me if it's First Amendment issue.
Well, what's the other case in Canton? There's got to be a bunch of them. You
Right.
got to tell me what it is.
Write Megan about it. Follow that up, actually.
Yeah, I got an email address. It's meganfox.writer@protonmail.com.
Pumpkin form? Farm? I said form. Pumpkin form. Shape of a pumpkin. Pumpkin farm. Thanks for the 2. Jeremy's over 160K. Yeah, he mentioned that, and that's crazy. That is crazy. Love you too. Much love return. Thank you. Rhea Rye, thanks for the 2. Is this place Hazard County? It's funny. He kept mentioning Dukes of Hazzard, so it did sound like it, didn't it? They copied. Janice, thanks for the 10 there. It was Lynette and Crook's video on their property that got Crook arrested, not the cameras on JH's property. Crook is 60, looks 80 years old, and is jaundiced. He looks pretty rough. I mean, Heather, thanks for the 2. Keystone Cops would be embarrassed, indeed. Sue, thanks for the 5 there. When JH did a video of JC pointing it at him, the Popo said that JH wasn't afraid because he videoed it. Yeah, that's what they kept bringing up. That's insane. How are they determining whether or not he's afraid? Oh, because you recorded it. Oh, because you acted brash. Well, it kept him from getting pow-powed. So, yeah. Oh, that makes me mad. Thanks for the 5 there, Megan. A response in tonsil twin case.
Yes, and I will be reading that tomorrow morning. If you need to be following me for free. You don't have to subscribe on locals.com, meganfox.locals.com. If you want to know what time I'm going live, the notifications are always there because YouTube is asshole and never sends out notifications for my lives. So if you want to know when I'm going live, make sure that you follow me on Locals, guys.
I can't wait to watch that and then read it too. I love to watch I like it when you and Dave, I'll watch both of you cover something, and then I like to read it myself and to see it. But I always like doing that. Can't wait for it. I just have a feeling it's going to be good.
I know I haven't read it yet. I've been it's sitting on my desktop, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh, I love reading stuff, live. Just to get my initial. Some court documents are so boring, but. Woodnick's office has actually been very entertaining. So I like to dry read those a lot of times. Kate, thanks for the 5 there. Please show some love to Wes Dockery. Join his channel, etc. People have been saying evil things about his daughter.
Oh, Wes is the victim. Oh, who's been saying evil things about his little girl? Who? Point me in their direction.
Yeah, for real. You know what? Wes, if you ever need to hype your channel or anything, you want to talk about this stuff, you are free to come on. We'll talk about what happened with you. If you feel like it, if you're comfortable. And we'll hype your channel a little bit. And we'll get you some subscribers out of that too. You know, because you guys are the victims in that, and you should be shown love and support on it.
And they did the right thing by calling the police and insisting that they do something about it. By the way, and those of you watching the Gainesville channel, will someone please tell me why they're showing Alaskan local news right now? Is there any possible? I've checked 3 times that I'm on Gainesville, Florida, and they're showing Alaskan local stories. Does anybody have an explanation for me on why that might be happening?
Well, you know, let's ask Sarah Palin. She probably could tell us.
Well, she can see Russia from her house.
I actually was watching something on her the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot how funny all this stuff is. It's scary that, you know, she could have ended up in a position of prominence, you know, even further than she was. But, oh my God. I mean, it is funny. It was an absolute train.
Especially because she never actually said that. That was a Saturday Night Live thing. And they just,
said
it stuck. She said enough that people believed it, that she would say something like that.
She said enough stupid stuff.
I really liked her at first, and then it just went off the rails.
There was a docudrama on her. I never watched it.
I thought it was a reality. Wasn't it a reality show?
They did one with her, but they had a docudrama on
that
her.
Reality show was a mess. Absolute mess.
Well, it just shows you some people need scripted answers, you know.
Yeah.
Jack's mom, thanks for the check the sheriff's site under PR. I mean,
what?
On so check their site itself.
The
if you look up, yeah, you can look up the sheriff's website, you know, and I mean every place has a website for that.
But they wouldn't have the news clip.
No, but they might have something else added to it, is what they might be saying.
Oh, well, I'm afraid to click off of the Gainesville channel because I might miss it.
I'll look it up in a little bit. Then I'll say it again. You know, this isn't a one and done story. I've been really wanting to go in, and you know, there have been a few documents that have come up in Jeremy's litigation, and I wanted to cover some of that. But I was wondering, like, where do I want to enter? And again, when all this stuff came up, when I saw that YouTube short, I thought, oh my God, you know, that's crazy. Then when I saw that video, it was infuriating. And now this, looks like a perfect place to pick up. Lily, thanks for the 5. I live in Levy City. They don't like him because too much attention was brought to the public. Oh, in Levy County, I said city. My bad. I don't know why I said city. I knew it's county. Fuck. I
wasn't going to correct you. But...
yeah, I would correct myself. Man, I've been on a roll like for the last week when I'm reading stuff. You know, it's the way I have my microphone. My microphone, like part of what I see, I'll see it through the pop filter. And it's like, what does that say? It looks like city. Okay. But I live in Levy County. They don't like him because too much attention was brought to the public in Levy County. I'm 15 minutes from Otter Creek. I can only imagine. That's got to be crazy to watch being there. I thought about doing a call-in show for people from Levy just to get, you know, people's on the ground responses to all of this, just to see how they see it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That's a good idea.
Patricia, thanks for me. Hey, Megadonis, aka Megan, if that is indeed your name. Breaking news. Shark got lawyer Bruce Matskin involved to help Lynette. He's a lawyer in Connecticut and has been under review. And guess what? Judge oversees the case. None other than is Judge Dooley.
Dooley. Do I know Judge Dooley? That sounds familiar.
I thought it said Judge Duty for a minute. I was like,
I know wait, in Connecticut though? Is Dooley in Connecticut? I know I should know this judge for some reason and I'm blanking, so I'll have to look it up.
Oh no. I know. I'm thinking there's so many fun layers to this. Cunning linguist, thanks for the 2. Donuts are now round for officer safety. They used to be square, but they kept choking on them. Janice thinks again. Lynette said Crook was holding his cell phone. The shooter said, oh my God, so he did. I was making jokes about GoProing with pistol angle. So
Lord.
Oh no. Mel, what's up, Mel? Thanks for the 10 there. No statement attached, but plenty of statement. Thank you. Appreciate you. Janice, thanks for the 10 there as well. The conflicting reports are what Lynette and Crook said, that John was holding a cell phone and didn't have a gun. Okay, so that's what the cell phone thing, that's what you meant. I got you there. Versus what the witness said was totally different than what Lynette and Crook said. So he was just taking a shooter stance. You know, I take a shooter stance every time I pull out my phone and take pictures. Don't you, Megan?
Oh yeah, all the time.
I crouch down behind trees.
Yeah, crouch down behind trees and pretend to use my phone as a gun. Yeah, that makes sense. That's absolutely what happened. That's clear to anyone paying attention.
Lily, thanks for 5 there. Judge Thomas denying me a TPO against a man who was threatening me. So I told the clerk, that's fine. I'll just pew him if he shows up. You do. That's crazy. You know, that I actually read some of the feedback for some of these judges. Sometimes the feedback on them is wild. You know, you remember when we first saw the feedback on the Thomases?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe it when the defense of the guy filming in the tanning bed, I couldn't believe what he did.
My God, I know.
God. SF, thanks for 5. It'll be Jeremy's fault because he's set up Tube Town. Just watch. I'm sure they'll try to blame it. You know. Heather, thanks for 5. Where's CPS in this? 5 and still in diapers, living in squalor and danger. I'm at a loss.
Oh, they've been there like 20 times. It doesn't matter.
They're okay with it. Apparently they're okay. You know, and that's the thing. Like, you know, they're
living in a shed with no air in Florida and no running water, and CPS doesn't care. With an allegedly very ill child who's medically fragile and has a immune system, or she could die if she gets a cold. That's what Lynette has said. But no, the state of the children's protection there, they're just like, yeah, she's fine.
Well, DHS is so reliant on individual opinions. You know, there are some good people in that, and there are some really bad ones that, they do terrible things. And then there are some that do terrible things that they don't, where they do nothing. Something horrible's happening, you know. But it's all, I mean, they have guidelines. They're supposed to act when, but you know, that's up to individual opinion. When they go in, they review something. It's horrible. Sue, thanks for the 2. Jeremy Hale said today, total is 180K. Good God, man.
My Lord.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to keep adding to it. You know, we saw the Woodnick cost. You know, his was what, $6.90 an hour? Isn't that correct? $6.90?
$6.50 an hour, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So it's over $600 an hour, and he had someone else that had to be with him because of that particular case.
$4.50 an hour.
So we were talking. It was $6.50. You're right, because combined with the person he normally was with, it was $4.25. So they were almost up to $1,100. Yeah, per hour.
Yep.
Marcus King, thank you for the 4 months there. No statement on top of that, but thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate you. Taz, thanks too. Love and hugs. Prayers to all. Well, thank you. Appreciate you. And returned as well. Shieldmate, thanks for 20 months. He's just an emotional support.
I can't believe I missed that joke. I should have told that joke. That was good. I'm just here for support. He's an emotional support deputy. Yep. That's why he's so big and cuddly, in case you need a hug.
Oh, I feel safer already.
He's just big and squishy.
SF, thanks for the 2. I love Pitbull Megan. Get him, Megan. Get him. Get on that. Indeed. Rio Ra, thanks to he looks like Peter Griffin with a beard.
Who's Peter Griffin?
Family Guy.
Oh, right. He
Yeah.
did kind of.
It does. I can see that. That's terrible. If he starts talking, and if he starts mentioning his talking dog Brian, we're in trouble. Patricia, thanks for the 20 there. Lynette's grandson, who's 18, is now living with her. He's just got picked up for 5th degree theft and charged. Oh no!
Oh God!
I feel like it's such, it's sad because it seems like all of that leads to dead end outcomes, and I don't want that for that kid that's there.
I know.
Wendy, thanks for the 2. Mustard and biscuits. Oh, indeed. Misty, thanks for the 2 there. Camera footage at what you
doing, Willis?
Yeah. So do they have that over there? Let me check.
What you doing, Willis?
Is that real?
I don't know.
I'm gonna check. Give me a second.
Hey, David Gingras got a letter from the bar closing out the matter involving Dave Neal. I guess there was a complaint filed, and it says this: moving forward, please be mindful and keep in mind our conversation about professionalism and the comments that you are making about other individuals in your social media and on the blogs on your website. Please refrain from personally insulting language and name-calling directed at other individuals. Your professionalism obligations would be much better suited, as well as your service to your clients and the legal community at large.
So they're not going to do anything about him. They're just going to be like, no, do that, David.
No, they just gave him a mildly, strongly worded email.
Do it again, and we'll probably send you an even stronger worded email. Oh, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Tracy thinks if I found it, it's on Kindle Unlimited. Is she going after Stephen King next? Oh, that's true, man. There's some.
You should write to her and ask her.
Yeah, that's true. Dr. Alec, thanks for the 10 there. The problem is many people have no idea how to separate fact from fiction. Remember, there are people who think Harry Potter is real, and there's a GoFundMe to buy a black woman a plane ticket. Wakanda. That's nuts. I want a plane ticket to Wakanda.
I want to go there.
I do too. It's actually
Wakanda forever.
Emma, thanks for the 11. I'm so sick of the whole burning books thing. If you don't like it, don't read it, period. That's very true. There's no need to destroy things because you're a bigot. Indeed. That is very true. Lily, thanks for the 2. Some jerks that
same jerks that flop naked. It's true.
It is the same. That is.
True.
It's very true. It is. It is. I've seen some scary shit coming from some of these people. Oh, hey, Joan, see? JoJo's Venture, thanks for the 5 there. You're awesome. Thank you. That's got to be for you, Megan. You're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Vanessa, thanks for the 5. Thank you, Tug. And welcome back to the lovely Daily Dysfunction. Yes, indeed. Yeah, there was an accident somehow.
There was a little dysfunction.
Yeah. On that specific day there was. So it was the Daily Dysfunction. Yes, but you accidentally got man, if that happens, just hit up somebody, and I'm the one who has to fix it, but I might not notice it. If you hit up a mod, there was an accident with it. Again, it most of the time, 99% of the time, it's just an error. I've done that before. I've actually meant to pin something. I've banned people. I banned somebody that I knew really well one time because I was trying to pin their comment. So, Nocturnal One, thanks for the 18 months. Policeman drinking, showing off to unofficial ride-alongs on job, kills 18-year-old Livy. No updates. Please look into Minnesota. I have to look that up. I haven't heard of that. What's bad is there's so many cases out there that actually do need someone to look into them. There's just more than one person or dozen people can cover. You know, every day you could find a brand new case that's horrific. And, you know, along with that, you have the big cases, you know, the people like Alec Baldwin that are out there, you know, and they draw so much attention because, of course, you know, big name, clicks, but people, you know, stuff like that, things like what happened to the Hales, these things are very important. They should be looked at. Silhouette, thanks for the month there. Love listening to you and Megan. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoy these streams. I like cutting up, ripping loose, and making fun of stupid things. All right, we're caught up. I think I'm gonna call it here. You got anything you want to add, Megan?
No, just sometime tomorrow morning. I'm aiming for like 10 a.m. Hopefully, I will be reading the new motion by Greg Woodnick in response to that idiotic motion filed by David Gingras to recuse the judge after the trial. So weird. So I'll be doing that tomorrow.
It's so bizarre. That'll be interesting. If people haven't kept up with the Tonsil twin case, that's a guy who won. He won against not only a false accuser that was saying, "Hey, you know, I'm pregnant with twins," in a case that doesn't make sense at all. And again, judge pointed out he won at a level I was shocked by. Not only that, but she was referred to potential prosecution, but looks like she has a lot more victims than that too. So I'm going to call it here. Appreciate it. Make sure to tune in to Megan. I'll probably be on tomorrow. I'm guessing sometime I'll be on tomorrow, but I appreciate you folks. We'll see ya.